Good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Good evening, mkoaje wadau. How are you? This is Jakes, the moderator, and now this is another show where okay, karibu sana. Welcome to this awesome edition we are about to have. Asante sana kwa wale ambao wanajiunga nami. Show yako ndio hii imeanza tena. Imagine ndio hii imeanza tena. Thank you so much for joining me. We are about to have another conversation, a better one, a great informative one. Hii ni kali. Hii utapenda. Thank you so much for joining me. We have a great one for you. I am telling you, this one you must like. This one you must love. Let me know where you're watching this show from. Ni juzo unanitazama ukiwa wapi? Karibu sana, karibu sana. Finally, we are here to discuss a matter that I'm sure tayari shaanza kukugwara vibaya, but I'm about to tell you why the topic, why the show. But karibu sana wadau. Welcome to this show. I'm your host, Jakes, the moderator, and this is Afric 24. Tune in, let us go together, even as we try to analyze matters making headlines in our country. Where are you watching this show from? Where is this finding you? I hope you're well. Karibu sana, karibu sana. We are here to discuss many issues pertaining the cost of living, but leo tuna discuss hii topic moja kali. We are talking about Azimio. It's been a while since I talked about Azimio. I have some panelists with me. We want to go back and look at some matters arising now. There is a storm arising. I don't know if it's a storm in a teacup or an actual tsunami. I don't know if it's a storm that's about to crash Azimio as we know it. Is it the end of the road for Azimio? What will it mean for Baba Raila Odinga? What will it mean for you, the supporter of Azimio? Karibu sana. I see many already joining me. My good friend Goody tayari ashajimwaya mwaya na amejaja. Karibu sana kwa hii show. I'm your host Jakes, the moderator, and we are about to have one fantastic conversation where I think it's time. It's time we ask ourselves this question. Is Azimio dead or is it dying, or should we even start just talking about ODM? Right? Baba has been on a frantic effort to revive ODM. Yeah, he is no longer really speaking so much as an Azimio guy, but as an Azimio knight, but speaking more as an ODM leader. One, two, he has equally not been seen with some people for some time now. Several weeks zimepita. We are yet to see him with some people, and some other guys are equally asking some questions. Could there be a storm looming? Could this be the end of Azimio? Tulisema inawezekana, tulimba nyimbo kali, nyimbo fiti ya lero ni reno, and so many other beautiful songs that described Azimio. Could this be the end of the road for Azimio? Is Azimio dead? What would it mean for the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka? Those guys who have followed Baba religiously without fail. Those guys who have really yearned for that coveted endorsement. You know that those guys who have followed Baba, always wishing and dreaming, praying and asking and really waiting for that day they'll be told, you know what? Finally, it is your moment. It is your time to go for the presidency and you have my endorsement. What happens to these likes? What happens to these people? I'll be telling you more about that, and I'll be showing you several clips. And this, where did all this begin? I'll be asking us to look at how it all began. And of course, we will try to make sense of all this. With me, I have some interesting guests with me. So this is a show you don't want to miss. Hii ni show utaki kumiss. Yeah, I'm sure this already is rubbing you wrongly. Wewe ambaye una support Azimio. Kenya Kwanza, I'm sure mko pale na tu emoji tu smiles. But zaidi ya yote, it's not about Kenya Kwanza Azimio, but it's asking ourselves, Is it time that we call out this culture of use, dump, and move on? This time we now fight some of these challenges affecting our politics. That now we are about to end Azimio. I'm sure you're curious to find why am I asking if Azimio is dead. I'll be showing you how from many clips I'll be playing from some news making headlines, so you don't want to miss this one. Of course, with me I have a friend of mine, Juan Alexi is with me. We'll be discussing more on those matters making headlines, lakini zaidi ya yote wadau tujuze mnatazama mkiwa wapi. Karibuni sana kwa hii show. I have as well another friend of mine, Mr. G, is in the building, and many as well joining in. So, is Azimio dead? Is Azimio dying? Is Azimio in ICU? Do we need to resuscitate Azimio? Do we need to do BLS, basic life support on Azimio? Do we need to check its vitals? Probably it's dying, literally dying. Is there a lifeline needed for Azimio? Because as it is, Kamenuka, Kamenuka. And what would the death of Azimio mean for the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka? What would be the end of this marriage? What would it mean for the likes of Martha Karua and Jeremiah Kioni? We have seen them almost trying to create a different outfit. Are they calling it Kamwene or whatever the name? But they are already trying to create or coin their own way out of this. We have seen Martha Karua strongly oppose the report, the NADCO report. They have seen Kalonzo supporting the NADCO report. Raila Odinga supporting partially the NADCO report. Uhuru vehemently opposing the NADCO report. Now, this is something that has created tension within Azimio. Kuna tension within Azimio. Guys are it's a wait and see, but could this be the very end? We began the year, or rather last yeah, this year actually, by seeing several guys from ODM wakitoroka. Several guys from parties that made Azimio wakitoroka. So Azimio, as we know, it has really suffered a very good share of challenges. And now the big head, call them Uhuru Kenyatta, call them Raila Odinga, call them Martha Karua, Kalonzo, Eugene Wamalwa. Right now, they are not on the same line or same page or reading from the same script. Na wahenga husema kila mwamba ngoma huvutia pande yake. Sasa hii ngoma inavutwa pande zote, right? So will the center hold? Okay. Now, to make sense of all this, I'll be showing you why. But before I do that, allow me to introduce my panelists, Honorable Lexi and Mr. G, ambao wamejitwika jiga swala hili ili waweze kuling'amua vizuri na waweze kulichangia vizuri. So this is a show you don't want to miss. I have others joining us just now because all these guys are in different time zones. That's why at times we have that hiccup of them joining directly. But thank you so much for being part of this show. Thank you so much for watching us. And of course, keep tuning in. You will learn quite a lot. One Alex, can you greet the people?
Yeah, I want to greet our able listeners and thank you for tuning in so that we can discuss pertinent issues in regard to what the NADCO report and the impact of the NADCO report. Thank you.
Bwana G, salamia raia.
Thank you, Mr. Jakes and Honorable Alex. With our media personnel wale jamaa ambao natuangalia kule kando, those who are commenting on our comment section, I greet you guys and I welcome to the show. I believe that mtapata mengi na mtakuja kuelewa what is really happening in Azimio. Although
Okay.
our panelists, our moderator anasema Azimio is dead, ama is almost dead. No, he's not dead, Azimio.
I have to make you guys defend yourself, so I cannot give you something that I'm to defend But zaidi ya yote, karibu sana, karibu sana. I'll be showing you how to join this show. If you agree with me that Azimio is dead, or if you agree with Mr. G that this is not the end of the road for Azimio, a lot awaits Azimio, that this is not just the final showdown. Yeah, the curtains are not closing in on Azimio. Right now, before I do that, allow me to share with you the paper of the day, and this is the Standard. The Standard brings it out so well. Now, this is an interesting heading saying why Uhuru Raila are pulling apart. The center seems not to hold these two gentlemen who came together, these two guys who were called brothers, right? You remember? They were called brothers, not just any kind of brothers. They were termed the handshake partners, the handshake brothers, the two duo who replaced Uhuru Ruto. Yeah, after Uhuru Ruto, we had the handshake brothers, Uhuru Raila, and of course, the former marriage of Uhuru Ruto had to end in a very, very nasty way. Raila became the new catch and the new talk in town. And from that catch and new talk in town, Azimio was born. Azimio was born, and it led to many things. One, BBI. That one suffered a catastrophic loss, right? Then after Azimio's BBI failed, we went to the election. We sang Relo ni Lelo, Azimio this way, Azimio that way. Inawezekana here, inawezekana there. You know. And after some time, we had to go to the election, and it went the way it went. We didn't like how the outcome of the elections were. We went to the courts, and the courts gave us a verdict that up to date it still stars us badly. We were told we presented hot air in as far as evidence is concerned. Well, Martha Koome akatufanya ile kitu. But we still tried to hold on. But Ruto naye ni nani? Wadau, he began poaching Azimio, taking some MPs here, some parties here. You know, he rocked Jubilee. You remember one time Uhuru had to come out from his hiding, eh? But sasa we even equally chose to take it a notch higher. Tukasema hapana, mambo yamekuwa sugu, mambo yanaenda mramu, acha twende mtaa. Let's go and do maandamano here, maandamano there, eh? Fracas here, wajamaa tukajisaidia na mbuzi za Uhuru and all. And then tukaona hapana, wacha kwanza tupose, tukapose the first time, akina Sifuna na akina Halwale, they decided to create a party, or rather aka meeting, or rather aka team to discuss this. Wakakuwa na jokes kibao zikazidi, kabidi hiyo story ishe. Now we went back to what, to the streets again, but this time haikuwa na mnato sana, but of course some people lost their lives. Then again tukaamua hapana, we have to be slightly serious. So what do? Let's bring in Kalonzo with his big guns. And as usual, Kenya Kwanza had a team led by none other than Ishungwa. Now, Ishungwa Kalonzo team came with a report. Now, this report here is where the demons were open. It's where the can of worms was open. It's where the matters that were long buried in Azimio were revealed. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, this is where Uhuru and Raila are pulling apart. Now, let me read you the fears looming in Azimio. According to the standards today, wanasema it's no longer at ease. They're saying fears of a looming fallout between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga as former president pushes for the rejection of bipartisan talks report, which could throw the ice between former premier and President Ruto, even as ODM chief embraces it. Yeah, so Raila Odinga may embrace the report. William Ruto may embrace the report. Kenyatta, the president, may reject the report. In a nutshell, before tuende kwa clips, we have just highlighted what is in your daily papers, and that's the standard. So make sure you grab your copy. We are just guzia too, even as we go on with the show. So do I begin with? Let me begin with Mr. G. Mr. G, is Azimio dead?
Mr. Jakes, Azimio is not dead. Although there are some allegations. Okay, I know there are some cracks in Azimio, but I cannot say that it is dead. You know, when the bipartisan talks was brought up, the report, when the report came out, okay, I was not, I'm one person ambao I did not want, sikutaka kabisa Baba to agree with that report. Why? Because that report to me, as the bipartisan talks, it was a setup, it was just a trap washike Raila. But you know, sometimes, as much as I love Raila, I trust Raila with everything that he does, sometimes Raila kwa anakosea, kwa na mess. Kwa sababu this was a setup trap for him to ashame him. Na in fact, wakati alikuja akakubaliana na that report, imemletea a big shame. So there are some cracks, some conflict in Azimio, whereby you can find Martha Karua na kina Eugene Wamalwa wanasema no, this one cannot happen. Even Uhuru Kenyatta himself anasema kwa kitu ifai to happen. Na Babu on another side anasema kuwa we should give it to watu, to wananchi waweze kuenda kwa referendum, alafu ndo wananchi wenyewe waamue. But to me, I think it is not right for Baba to accept that report, kwa sababu the same report kwanza imeshaonyesha kuwa ni mambo ya vyeo. Which means wakati wakiwa kwa Bomas, the only thing that they were talking about, it was just about seats, how they can wanaweza pata viti, wanaweza jiangalia. Sasa inakuwa ni something for only interest yao, si interest ya Wakenya, and yet tunaona vile Wakenya wanaumia sahi. But remember, in every revolution kwa kunakuwa na betrayal, like you know, kama wakati tulikuwa na ile ya 20, it was 02 wakati Baba alikutana na kina Kibaki, and then wakashikana, wakakuja wakanyakua power kutoka kwa nani, kutoka kwa Moi. Kulikuwa na some agreement by that time, and I think pia hii mambo ya prime minister pia ilikuwa one of the agenda pale, agreement kwa hiyo coalition, but Baba was betrayed. Kulikuja kukawa na commotion, watu wataki kuelewana, watu wengine wanataka kuwa na hiyo prime minister hiyo seat, but isiwe na nguvu. Wengine wanasema tuwe nayo, but ikawa na shida mpaka ikafika mahali jamaa pia wakaamua no, wawezi wako pamoja. The same way side utapata at the moment the crack is about the report, but I know it's not only about the report. There's something that is also happening ambao I think we need also to discuss that thing. Wakati tulinyang'anywa hii our victory by Ruto, Ruto alinyang'anya victory it was ours, akatunyang'anya. So on my mind and on my thinking, I think pia Baba ni kama anaketi chini akijiwaza, how comes if we were with Uhuru was a president, how comes tukanyang'anywa uamuzi, tukanyang'anywa our victory if president amekelia kiti hivyo? What really happened? Because kumbuka wakati kulikuwa naanza those question marks, Uhuru alikuwa na believe in Kome sana, alibelieve sana in Kome, alibelieve kuwa hii petition yetu inaenda kutupiliwa mbali, because he knew tumeshinda but tumenyang'anywa. So he knew that for Supreme Court tunaenda kushinda, and he had confidence in Kome. Hakujua kuwa kumbe huyu mkora alikuwa shapita mbele, yake, na hiyo ilikuwa mambo ya kupita. So maybe let me allow first Alex to come in as we continue.
Interesting sentiments from Mr. G. Nakwambia leo wanaazimio wamejivalia vizuri could truly defend their side, but sawa, tuendelee na discussion. Mr. Alex, I want to have you on board now. From where you sit, is Azimio dead? Is Azimio dying? Or this is just a setback, Azimio will bounce back?
First of all, acha tena ni wasalimu. Jakes, Azimio died at Bomas.
Okay.
And I will tell you that Azimio is a loose coalition. That the only reason Kioni, Uhuru, and Martha Karua are with Baba is because they know that they have lost credence. And Baba still controls the politics of Kenya. That man, I don't know how Mungu alimbariki, lakini huyu jamaa siasa yake the way anaipiga, kiangalia anaipiga vizuri sana. Kumbuka wakati Madam Suluhu alikuja secretly in Kenya na Obasanjo, wakaenda Mombasa, wakakaa chini, wakaongea na Raila. You know, many people do not believe that happened, but it did happen.
Uh-huh.
And once they went and sat down and spoke, that
Mm.
was the end of Azimio.
Okay.
Ukiangalia Martha Karua hii saa hii kelele anapiga ni kwa sababu amerealize kuwa siasa ya baba iko mbali, wao wako
Mm-hmm.
nyuma, hawajaelewa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ukiangalia ripoti ya Ichungwa vile alisema leo, the only person who is saboting, mtu mwenye wanaogopa peke yake saa hii
Mm-hmm.
ni Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, kwa sababu saa
Mm-hmm.
hii ukiangalia
Mm-hmm.
the mountain imeanza kubelieve watu Uhuru aliwaambia huyu ni mtu wa maneno matamu matamu, and then this guy has a lot
Mm-hmm.
of money and therefore is the way he's bankrolling the politics of Mount Kenya right now,
Mm-hmm.
wameanza kuogopa. Lakini
Mm-hmm.
ukiuliza, is this the end of Azimio? Azimio ended at Bomas.
Uh-huh.
Azimio does not exist. The only
Uh-huh.
reason Martha Karua is with us is because
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't have a place to go. Where can she
Mm-hmm.
go? She can't go to UDA.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why Kioni is with Baba is because he does not have, because if you look at even Jubilee, Jubilee was dead. Azimio is not Azimio, it's ODM.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need to know that. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing called Jubilee. Jubilee was dead.
Okay.
Unaelewa?
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's all I can say for now.
Okay, interesting observation and interesting remarks from you. When you look at how far we have come as Azimio, uh, Azimio has seriously received so many blows over the days. This is a party. I don't even if to call it. It's a party, right? Kenya Kwanza is the one that it's a coalition of parties. Azimio only had one candidate, so it's on Raila Odinga. The others were either ODM or what do you call them, or Jubilee or any other party that was not Azimio or was in Azimio. That's what defined Azimio then. With these challenges happening, we ask ourselves this question: was this matter meant to only ride Raila Odinga to power, but had no visionary tactic to either make Azimio really last after 2022? Ama it was just a means that we have learned that in Kenya we create a political party just like a vehicle. Once tumefika tunaibomoa, tunaanza kitu ingine. So is it now that we are seeing that it's now time to bomoa hii tuanze kitu ingine, or we are reading too much into this matter as it is at the moment?
If you look at the history of Kenya, it's a very
Aha,
sad history, extremely
aha.
sad history.
Mhm.
Why is it sad? It is sad because uh, we started with Rainbow Coalition. That was
Aha.
2000, was 2002.
Mhm.
Then we came to CORD.
Aha.
Then we came to NASA. Then
Mhm.
we came to Azimio.
Mhm.
And obviously you can predict where we are headed.
Mhm. Mhm.
Obviously now you can predict that very soon we are going to
Mhm.
start having forces of what? Of a new coalition that is going to
Mhm.
dictate the politics of 2027. And I can
Okay.
almost predict, I can tell you, I
Uh-huh.
can guarantee you that people
Uh-huh.
like Mutula Kilonzo are going to join UDA.
Okay.
Okay. Mutula Kilonzo is going to
Mm.
join. Joho is going to join UDA. But at the
Mhm.
same time, people like Cheregai may disagree with Ruto vehemently if they continue with
Mhm.
the corruption and the looting that
Mhm.
because these people are privy of what is really happening in the country.
Mhm.
People like Cheregai.
Mhm.
Cheregai, you have seen him reform from a spanner boy of Ruto to a critic of Ruto. When he's criticizing Murkomen, he's basically
Mhm.
criticizing William Samoei Ruto.
Mhm.
Now, and you have seen what is happening in Western, what we used to call Western province. The
Mm-hmm.
Western province, you're seeing now people returning back to Baba because at some point they had done what? They had
Mm-hmm.
rebelled.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Walker, who is Mr. Walker ambaye ninamuitanga Nitambaya,
Mm-hmm.
Lusaka, the
Mm-hmm.
governor for Kakamega, have realized that
Mm-hmm.
Ruto is a con. Now,
Okay.
so what I'm telling you is that Azimio is not going to survive. We are
Mm-hmm.
going to have a new coalition of
Mm-hmm.
like-minded people, whereby Baba, the way I look at him, is
Mm-hmm.
seriously grooming Simbarati.
Okay.
But at the same time, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, if you look, Ruto is courting Simbarati seriously. Today they are in kiss.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
really Simbarati has become the new kid on the block. And
Mm-hmm.
that is why he's not getting along with Onyonka, his
Mm-hmm.
deputy governor, and his what?
Mm-hmm.
And his women rep. But what I
Okay.
can tell you for a fact is that Azimio died during the bombers.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we came, even before we met, do you remember how Azimio was formed? Azimio was
Mm-hmm.
formed quickly after we lost the BBI case.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Baba came to what? Baba
Mm-hmm.
came
Nakuru.
to Nakuru, and
Mm-hmm.
that is how Azimio was done. What was formed?
Mm-hmm.
So the way
Mm-hmm.
Azimio was formed, it was out of desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
and that's
Mm-hmm.
why I like what you said earlier. And I think Leo should help me here and inform me.
Mm-hmm.
There are things we have refused to say the truth. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there are things we
Mm-hmm.
have refused to say the truth for a very long time, but they are hurting us.
Mm-hmm.
Was Did Uhuru really campaign for Baba? No, the guy never campaigned
Mm-hmm.
for Baba. The guy
Mm-hmm.
came only for three rallies. Okay, was
Mm-hmm.
Uhuru for Baba? I think I've come to the conclusion that Uhuru was never for Baba. These
Mm-hmm.
meetings he's having with the envoys, or
Mm-hmm.
UK na US, it shows
Mm-hmm.
that he has subtle respect for William Samoei Ruto. They are telling him
Okay.
so that he can do what? Can, so I
Mm-hmm.
can guarantee you, without
Mm-hmm.
a doubt,
Mm-hmm.
that Uhuru is sabotaging Baba, and Baba is also ahead of this politics because he has
Mm-hmm.
realized who
Mm-hmm.
Uhuru is. So what Baba is doing is contrary to what? To Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm telling you that i- it's a good, it's as good as dead. Azimio
Okay.
is dead. Thank you.
Okay, Azimio is as good as dead. Thank you so much, you who is tuning in. This is just the afternoon's edition. We are we are looking at the matters arising from the newspaper. This is how the Standard had you covered today. For those of us who are yet to see it, they're saying, "Why is Uhuru and Raila pulling apart now?" Them pulling apart, does it mean the end of Azimio? Okay, I'm sure Bonaleo will give us an in-depth understanding of what this means. So, Bonaleo, I want to come to you, even as I invite you as well. Please tell me this. What do you make of what the newspaper is saying that Uhuru and Raila seems to be pulling apart? Of course, this is informed from the NADCO report that Kalonzo seems to support, Raila seems to support. But Karua, Uhuru, Kioni, this other guy from Western, they seem not to agree with the report and they seem not to really wish to support it. Could this be the very beginning of the end? Is this the end of the road for Azimio as we know it?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jackson. First of all, let me tell you, when you talk of Azimio, I think we had Azimio coalition, and the Azimio party
Uh-huh.
was the Azimio coalition party was
Mm-hmm.
registered specifically to have a candidature of Raila and Martha Karua contest for the presidency. And the
Mm-hmm.
elections were done in 2022 August. And once the
Uh-huh.
elections were done, so that was the end of that Azimio coalition party. Its
Mm-hmm.
purpose
Mm-hmm.
had already been achieved. So
Okay.
I don't think there's somebody else who can still be talking of Azimio, I don't know, living past 2022 or past 2025 or past 2030.
Uh-huh.
If they,
Uh-huh.
why would they form a party that is going to live beyond 2022 when they already had parties like ODM, TNA, Jubilee, and this kind of parties? So it tells you the fact that they decided to form another party within and without maybe people like William Ruto had to leave Jubilee and form UDA. So UDA was meant to live beyond 2022 elections. But these guys had their parties that are meant to live. Parties like ODM will be there forever and ever. But they had
Uh-huh.
to form a party for them to tackle the elections. It was a vehicle. So once they reached whether they won or they did not win, then the purpose of that party ended. So anybody talking about Azimio is that person who is disparate and wants something to give them some relevance. When you talk of this fallout, when you look at that bipartisan talk, the only
Uh-huh.
people who knew the content or the reason why that talk was called is William Ruto and Raila Odinga. So
Uh-huh.
even Uhuru Kenyatta didn't know what was in the reason why these people had to talk, because I remember the demonstrations were suspended, I think twice. Initially they refused the talks, then later they said we've accepted the talks, and the report
Uh-huh.
was supposed to be given to the two principals, that is William Ruto and Raila Odinga. So the people you see opposing the talks, they are the people who want to get involved with the talk. They seem not satisfied, but the people who call for the talk are already satisfied. That is Ruto and Raila. So these are things that they already settled a long time ago. And if you see people now doing party registration, you've seen UDA doing their party registration and registering members, preparing for the next general election. You've seen ODM doing this. But parties like NADCO Kenya are still in denial. They are not yet prepared. They are still hoping that something called NASA will be there so that they can hang on. But it is good Jubilee have realized, and I've seen they are saying they're also going to do their party, so-called party grassroots election to strengthen their party. So talking of Azimio live or dead, that one is just a thing that we don't need to talk of. Azimio will not be there. Actually, it is too late. They would have disbanded it and they start forming another party or another coalition that they're going to use for the 2027 elections. Thank you. Hey, guess it. Guess. Where are you?
In, interesting
In my
sentiment
office.
from Leo. Uh, Bwana G, let me come to you now. Bwana G, Mr. Leo says that this is a matter that ought to have been concluded kitambo, given that Raila Odinga alikuwa ashaamua hii ni kitu tu atatumia for the elections. Then after elections, of course, it was almost obvious Azimio was to suffer its rightful death and conclusion. But what does it mean to the people who follow Azimio? From where you sit, Bado, do you believe Azimio can come back together? And it coming together, what would it mean? What would it mean? In the sense that right now hayuko pamoja, or they're not reading from the same script. If they were to come together and maybe reject the report, right? If they were if they were to come together and support the report, what would it mean for the coalition? Would it mean that their supporters would equally all of them follow, or their supporters might choose not to support them in totality, given that this is not a popular report for many. Many don't seem to agree with the report. And of course, the report has equally created the drift in Azimio. So, what would this report mean for Azimio? Would it be the end of it? Would it be what brings them together? Would it be what brings their supporters together or separate their support? What do you make of this from the report, and of course from what might happen if any choose to either support or oppose it?
Okay, I I think what Lei is saying and what Alex is saying, they all make sense. But
Mm-hmm.
although on the part of Leo iko
Mm-hmm.
imekuwa shallow kidogo, because Leo is saying that it was just like a vehicle ambayo ilikuwa imewekwa just for
Mm-hmm.
just election. After election, then it is done. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to ask yourself a question. If that was the reason, then in case baba angekuwa amechukua kiti ingekuwaje sasa? Kwa sababu leo anasema
Mm-hmm.
it was just for one purpose, just for election, and after election nothing else. I
Mm-hmm.
think we need to go deeper into this thing. As much as there is some confusion and some disagreement in that coalition. For me, I still believe that because hakuna mtu ambaye ametoka akasema mimi natoka Azimio, hakuna mtu amejitokeza akasema mimi natoka Azimio. There is just that some cracks kidogo kidogo ambayo inaendelea pale. I think there's a problem in, but still these people bado wako pamoja, and that's why baba alisema, as much as tunasema baba amekubaliana na ripoti, baba hajakubaliana na ripoti fully. He just said that let's give this thing, let's send it to the people, wacha sasa watu waamue. What I know ni kuwa baba
but Mr. G, even if you're sending it to the people as a leader, and you know how referendums are done in Kenya, a question must be put, and a question will have two sides. It will only have a yes or a no. Yes, ametuma kwetu hiyo swali. Where do you think Raila Odinga will stand? Will he be on the no team or on the yes team?
I'm sure baba will be on the no team kwa sababu baba ameshagundua watu hawako on this thing.
Okay.
You know what is happening? Kuna some allegation, although I cannot prove it, but there is some allegation. Sijui kama umesoma that thing, na kuna kitu imepostiwa ni kama ilikuwa sijui kwa gazeti ama tu ni propaganda za watu. There's a propaganda that ambayo inasema kuwa baba went with a team akiwa na Junet Dubai. I think it was last year ama early this year on April, April this year. Na wakati walienda kule, we are being told that they were given millions of shillings just to be silenced. Waache kupiga makelele, hii mambo ambayo inaendelea. Sijui kama mpikia umekutana na hiyo kitu, but there's some allegation. Hapo article kanaendelea kwa media wakisema kuwa baba na Junet with some team walienda ni Dubai na walipewa millions of shillings, which for me I'm not sure if that is true, because ingekuwa true,
if they were given the million of shillings or money, what was the purpose of the money and why were they to be silenced? Who benefits by them being silent?
And okay, is allegation, mimi sijui kama ni kweli, it is allegation ambayo nimesoma mahali, you see, just allegation ambao wanasema ni Ruto alituma watu wake. It is a government that was sent to meet the Raila. Yeah, it is government that was sent to meet with Raila ili wamsilence. You know, baba has always stand up akisema kuwa anapinga hii serikali, na unaona kama mwanzo tukianza mambo ya maandamano ilikuwa imeshika, and it was so tough, na kila mtu atakuwa ameshuka, hata Ruto mwenyewe alishtuka of what was happening. So we are being told that walitumwa wakaenda waongee na yeye ili akuje afanye nao kazi kwa nini kwa government, and the whole mission ilikuwa ni to bring him to this government iweze kufanya kazi venye walikuwa wanafanya na kwa handshake na his brother Uhuru Kenyatta.
Okay.
That is the allegation, but I don't know if it's true. But for me, I think.
Well, Alex, do you think it's true? Was baba bought?
Unajua Jex, nataka nikukumbushe kitu moja, because we are Kenyans are fond of forgetting things.
Yeah.
Wakati ya Babu na Mwamba, William Samoei Ruto na Raila walienda kuwatch ile game ya Gor Mahia. Unaelewa? That is when we were done. Unaelewa? That is when we were done. Unajua kitu moja watu wa Azimio wanakataa, na it's obvious, is that kuna handshake between Ruto na Raila. If you look at it in every way, watu wanafikiria ni uongo, but it's true. But Raila, shida ya Raila ni moja. Raila anajua watu hawataki hiyo handshake. So he's playing games with us. But these people are managing us to a point that in the next 1-2 years, we are going to normalize this to accept kwa aje our watu they are working together. Now, on the question that you brought earlier, unajua ukiangalia vizuri, Raila groomed Ruto to be the president. If there was anybody who gave Ruto mileage to be where he is today, it is Raila Amolo Odinga, not even Moi. Because wakati ile tulikuwa tunawaita watu wa Pentagon, tulikuwa tunawaita aje? The principle, no, ilikuwa ni Pentagon. Raila created Ruto, and Ruto knows that very well. Raila created who? Raila created Murkomen. Yeye ndiye alimpeanga job yake ya kwanza. Okay? Raila is a good friend of Chirichiri, and that's people do not know that. So all these things ni ile sisi tunakataa because of our emotions, you know. Our emotions is controlling us kukataa ukweli. Lakini from where I sit, I can confirm right now that look, Raila and Ruto have sort of partnership ambayo watu hawataki kukubali. Unaelewa? And which is bitter to some of us. Which is bitter to some of us, but it's a reality.
Okay.
Lastly, when
Okay.
Madam
Interesting.
lastly,
Uh-huh.
lastly, when Madam Suluhu came to Mombasa, and Mr. G knows that very well, there were key people who were in that meeting. Unajua Raila afanyangi kitu yote bila Junet. Sijui kama umai realize.
Yeah.
Okay? And that time even Joho was in that meeting. Because Joho was a party of interest kwa sababu ya hii deal yake ya Southern Sudan. Hiyo ndio time kila kitu iliisha, Azimio iliisha. And that's why the only person who has a problem right now ni Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Na wanamuogopa kwa sababu ya pesa yake. And there is something I don't understand why the UDA people are obsessed with who? Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. There is something that we do not know. They keep on quoting this guy all the time. Unaelewa? So Azimio is dead. And right now we are looking at a new formation that is going to come. And that new formation is going to surprise many people.
Okay.
And it's going to surprise many people in this way. And this is what people do not want to hear. The Nilots are going to come together against the Bantus. That is the next level of politics that is going to be. And mark my word, the Nilots are going to come together. When I say the Nilots,
Now, when we talk
it
of the
is
Nilots, we are talking about the Maasai, we are talking about the Kalenjins, we are talking about the. Now, all the Luyas are Bantus, all the Kambas are Bantus, all the Amerus, the Agikuyus, all the Mijikendas, they are all Bantus. The others are Nilots and Kushites. Somalis are Kushites.
so the two Nilots that
So,
are going to come together, the two Nilots that are going to come together, Mr. Jack, finally, the Luos are going to work together with the Kalenjins. Mark my
okay.
words. Mark my words.
Interesting, huh? Okay.
Okay.
But, but
Because
if that's anything to go by, even the
once
previous election
Azimio dies,
was a Nilot affair.
once Azimio dies, which is already going to die, you need to know that we are going to go to a new formation, and that formation is going to be
Okay.
surprising to many Kenyans. Remember what Cheriot said before the election. Cheriot once wrote in his Twitter handle that, look, for the first time, only Nilots are running for president. You remember that thing?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And if you look at the moves of Murkomen, the way he has been frequenting Homa Bay, it is telling. And if you look at the way Ruto went and launched the Uhuru, what was it called? Uhuru MVP ship in Kisumu. It could have told you that Ruto and Raila have a partnership that is so secret that nobody knows. But it's us who have rejected it. Mimi na wewe tumereject kabisa, lakini hawa watu wawili wako pamoja. And we can't keep on rejecting the truth. Thank you.
Interesting submissions from Alex. I see I have my good friend Bwana Captain Akondani na Bwana Kenya Rebel. Kenya Rebel, hii story imemchangamua, namuona pale kwa comment section ameandika mambo lakini kabla hajalipuka kidogo, tunikubalie nianze na Mr. Captain naona napewa tu polepole. I'm sure it's not something explosive, bwana captain. But bwana captain, acha nikuulize, is Azimio dead? And wewe kama mtu wa Kenya Kwanza, is that an orgasmic news to you? Does it make you happy? Asha mic yako kaka. Asha mic bwana captain. Endelea.
Jakes
Aha.
kidogo, wacha niko na small call from my daughter, then I'll be back. Just continue with you people, I'm coming back.
Sawa.
I'll
Okay,
be back.
Kenya Rebel. Okay, Kenya Rebel, najua uko maeneo ambayo ni tatanishi, lakini zaidi ya yote nikuulize, hii story ya Azimio kuwa inaelekea tamati. What do you make of it? Kenya Rebel?
Yes, can you hear me, Jakes?
Hivyo ndio una
kuona
sound ukiwa kwa bed.
yako.
Ataendelea.
Tunataka kuona hiyo nywele yako Kenya Rebel.
Ako kwa bed bwana.
Nimeamka nimekunywa kahawa lakini nakusikia vizuri sana. I like your morning show. Nimeona Alex hapo, Mr. Juku always comes in the morning. Najua huko ni mchana already.
Yeah.
Alex sijui ako wapi. Kwani Alex uko Minnesota ama wapi? Anyway.
Alex ako kwa shimo ingine pia.
Ati uko wapi?
Si tuko mahali watu wanasota.
Okay, sawa. Huku kuna baridi. Anyway, Azimio was going to fall, in my opinion. Because, like you mentioned, it was a union of convenience to try to get something to beat Ruto. But now that they lost and it's evident that there's no way to power, Wakina Karua jumping ship. They're like, okay, there's nothing else for us. Raila is already propping up Kalonzo if he doesn't run in 27, so there's nothing there for them. I would agree generally with Alex by saying, and I hate to agree with him, but Ruto and Raila obviously have been saying this. Again, I've been always saying this, and that's why I get so frustrated with Azimio followers. I mean, what will it take for you guys to see that Raila is actually playing you? He's been playing us for a long time. This man is not an enigma. His politics is not that complicated. He's a self-serving politician just like anybody else. Okay. Huyo jamaa ameingia kwa this agreement with Ruto for his own benefit and political survival. Okay. Obviously, there's reports here, Mr. Jill Konasema, there's possibility amelipo. Okay, I don't have evidence. I can't say that. But it will make sense. Unakumbuka Maina Njenga alituambia ati Raila alimpigia simu akamwambia simamisha maandamano, okay? Kwa sababu alikuwa anaongea na Suluhu and wherever huko Mombasa. So, and again, number two, you can't say, Mr. G, wacha ni correct kidogo ukisema ati Raila hataki kitu ikienda referendum atasema no. Kama angekuwa hataki hii NADCO whatever bill, angesema kitambo, angesema I don't want it, let's renegotiate it. But he wants it because kuna cheo hapo, Kalonzo atapata cheo, atapata cheo hata yeye, now all his minions will also have cheo. So he wants it. He wants to go take it to the referendum because he will get a post of whether it's prime minister. And again, Jakes, let me remind you, when this Mandamano started, the Azimio said they wanted something akin to the 2008 Kofi Annan Accord. Baadaye ndio kanza mambo ya sijui cost of living and all that nonsense, which they didn't even care about. And it's evident right now. So, yes, the next political formation will be a coalition. Umeona saizi wanataka, they're working on the IEBC. Did you read somewhere? I think I read somewhere where Raila wants to not be part of it. Probably will pick it. Yeah, he will pick it anyway. They're trying to pick up the commission of IEBC, the new commissioners. They're getting ready to pick the people who will be part of the selection panel, okay? Because in 2024, there will be a referendum. They want this referendum for them to create position. So yes, in summation, 2024 going beyond, they all need each other. Ruto is unpopular, and he needs Raila to be on his side. Because as I usually say, Raila, he has the support of a good number of people in Kenya. So atapoesha watu wa Azimio, because Azimio are not happy with Ruto, and he will tell him, msijali, vile alituambia vile aliingia kwa handshake na Ruto. Katuambia usijali, nimeshaongea na nimeshaingia na Uhuru, alete kila kitu chini, and he'll do the same nonsense. Ataingia kwa coalition government till 2027, and then again, we'll go through it again. These politicians, it's the same script. We know how it goes. Anyway, that's my take on that. But yes, Azimio is done.
Yes, Mr. G. Mr. G seems not to agree, but go ahead, Mr. G.
No, it's not that I don't agree with what Mr. Rebel is saying. You know, there's something that Alex said, and he said that I think Baba is trying to manage his people, and I can agree with what Alex said. You know, what I just raised my hand for is, you know, Rebel when he talks, anaongea vizuri kabisa, unamsikia, but on the comment amekuwa reckless sana, calling Baba conman, sijui what, you know, and inaumiza bwana. Look at people who have surrounded Baba. These people wanatumia Baba kupata vita alafu anamwacha, but now Rebel comes here calling Baba sijui conman sijui nini. That is reckless statements, Mr. Rebel. Unaongea vizuri, but on the comment unaongea vibaya.
And I agree with you, Mr. G. Unajua,
okay, wacha niwaulize.
no,
there's a reason. I'll substantiate my claim. That's the reason why I call him conman.
No,
Jakes, you're on mute.
Nani, Kenya Rebel.
Yes.
Sorry. Alex equally wants to say something. Yes, Alex.
Yeah, Kenya Rebel. You know, when we come in this show, we want to have a good conversation. We don't want to come here and tunarushiana maneno ama you say something so that you can provoke people. Let's have a show that we can all enjoy. Hii njia ya kusema sana Baba ni conman, wacha na hizo story. Wacha tuongee stories zenye zinaweza saidia wa Kenya. Kenya Rebel, tafadhali.
Okay, Alex.
Statement,
that's a good point.
Wacha nimalize. I love debating you because you are an intelligent guy. Unanielewa? The other thing is that watu wa sound candid wamekufukuzwa huko because they can't stand you. But here we stand you because tunakuelewa. Maneno ya conmanship, wacha. Let us debate and say things that are true na vitu ambazo zitatusaidia kama Wakenya sisi wote. We have one corporate problem and we need one corporate solution. Kuita Raila conman, hiyo sio solution yetu. Tafadhali ndugu yangu, hiyo jina iache kabisa. Thank you.
Okay.
Kenya Rebel, do you know Kenya Rebel? I'm not the of Raila Odinga.
Captain
No,
Goja.
let me answer Kenya Rebel.
Ngoja, wacha nijitetee. Alex ametoa point.
Sina kutetea, sasa hata unatetewa na bado unakataa. Sawa, endelea kujitetea.
Captain, anyway, this is what I was saying, Jakes. Alex, I don't know why nyinyi mko sensitive when I call Raila conman, mnakasirika, but every day Ruto tukikuja hapa, Ruto anaitwa sijui mwizi, he has stolen this, I mean the nastiest stuff that you can ever find. Even the ninio, hiyo thumbnail ambao nani anaikanga hapa, Jakes hapa, sijui Ruto ni mwizi, muaji, I don't know. I mean, it goes, no, I'm serious. Lakini mimi nikisema conman, nikita Raila conman, watu nakasirika. So why the double standard? And number two, we can both agree. So I can stop for the sake of Ninyo since mnataka debate. Okay, I'll avoid that one. But if we are going to do so, let's not call Ruto also mwizi Nini. He's the president of the Republic of Kenya, for Christ's sakes. Number two, Mr. G, the reason why I call this man that name, which you don't want, I'll stop, refrain for the sake of the debate, okay? Mimi nawauliza hivi, for how long shall you believe the same thing? Year after year, kura yangu imeibiwa, kura yangu imeibiwa, kura yangu imeibiwa, alafu he gets into a coalition after watu wamejiua. He never even one call once and say, ai, wafuasi wangu walienda kuprotest huko wakachapwa bunduki, can we even compensate them? Lakini yeye every mwaka kura yangu imeibiwa, kura yangu imeibiwa, alafu anaingia coalition, kura yangu. Don't you get tired of that? Can't you think for yourself and say, you know what, maybe this guy is up to something, maybe he's not actually looking out for that. Just like in the NADCO, we expected him to bring the cost of living down. Now what is he agreeing on? He's agreeing on the hizo maneno cheo mingi. Can't you just think and say, you know what, maybe this guy is not looking out for us, even though he's a statesman and he's been in government. We respect him. It's our culture. We respect him because he comes from that ile ninio ya kina Martin Shikuku wakina nani. So we look at him like he's the last of the dying breed. Yeah, hiyo era. Okay, so we respect him for that. But if we looked critically and think critically, this man is a self-serving politician just like anybody else. And that's why I call him that name, which I will refrain from doing so for the sake of this debate today. But anyway, that's my 2 points. Thank you.
Bwana Mr. G.
Okay, James, you know, on what Rebel is saying, that CJ is calling Baba that name kwa sababu even as kwa tunaita Uhuru Ruto, sijui mwizi, tunamuita nini. You know, when you look at Baba, on what allegation ambazo Kenya Rebel anasema kwa every time and then Baba anatoka anasema kuraki imeibiwa. I think Rebel believe that it's just a narrative that Baba always creates. Hakuna kitu kama kuibiwa kura, ni Baba tu ana create that narrative. That's why he's talking like that. But I can tell Kenya Rebel kuwa there's nothing like narrative. Hii mambo ya Kenya ya kura kuibiwa, this is something that iko live. Look at last election. This is like election about tulikuwa nayo. Look at how the surrounding was at Bomas wakati wa kutangaza. What really happened at that moment? It was almost 1 hour, all 30 minutes before election. Tunaambiwa kuwa even Chebukati himself hakuwa pale, but alienda akachukuliwa kwake akaletwa. By the time alifika Bomas, the other team, which the commissioners, walikuwa wameketi kwa room discussing something, and then he came with a paper na akawaambia I have the results na naenda kutangaza, na kukawa na disagreement pale. Wakawa namwambia hii umetoa wapi, mbona sisi hatuna hii, hatujui umetoa wapi. Yeye akasema mimi niko na results na nimesema naenda kutangaza. Remember we had 1 extra day ambao angeza kuketi chini and discuss, wakaelewana ndio watangaze, but akawaambia mfanye chenye mnataka. This was also pika kwa media, akasema mfanye chenye mnataka but mimi naenda kutangaza. Na ukiangalia kwa that circumstances ambayo ilikuwa pale, utaona Ruto alikuwa prepared ready, ameita watu wake, so he knew what was happening. This narrative ambao nani anaanza kuleta, Rebel anaanza kuleta kuwa ni kitu tu ambao inakuwa imetengenezwa kwa sababu ya something that you want to gain, that Baba want to gain. This is wrong.
Yeah, point of order. Unajua,
Yes, Alex.
Kenya Rebel, let us not degenerate all the time kuongea vitu like redundantly ambazo they are not. We are talking about the NADCO report, the fallout of Azimio. Let us stay on that course. Okay? Let us stay on that. Not every time that we talk, we have to let Raila ndani, Raila. We're talking about the NADCO report. National Dialogue report. Is it good for Kenya? Why should it be tabled in Parliament? Should we reject it? Because look at it. Sisi tulienda streets na captain anajua hivi. Tukaenda tukasema Ruto must go. We had our date with destiny on March. Was it March 20th?
20th. Yeah.
So what our party has been doing is these people are managing us to a point whereby, remember, last year, Ruto came with a proposal, and I thought it was a joke. And he said that we must have a strong opposition leader. We need to create the position of a opposition leader. And I thought this guy was joking. Now, over time, that is what actually is actualizing. Hii report inasema tukuwe na prime cabinet minister, tukuwe na opposition leader and 2 deputies. So they have created seats. Who is going to take these seats? Martha Karua atachukua gani? Because all of them, they are lying to us. Okay? Martha Karua will get his seat, Kalonzo will get his seat, and Raila will get his seat. That's what we should now discuss. Did the NADCO report create seats, or did it create a solution to Kenyans? And if we have to reject this political blasphemy, whereby what way to, especially what was sound candid who are my best friends, wanafikirianga Raila is always right. I reject it. On this is wrong. Okay? Hata kama Martha Karua is not a political heavyweight, the way Baba anaweza kuwa. Unaelewa? On this she's right. Okay? The NADCO report, people did not go to the streets to die for us to create positions, Jakes. Okay? We have just created positions for politicians so that that's political expediency, Jakes. How do we allow people to go to the streets? They die, and then we start creating positions. Is that even human? Is that even? Remember those two boys who were in the house and they were maimed and killed in Kondel. Not Kondel, it was in Yamasaria. Did they die in vain? So let's not talk about other things. Let's concentrate this NADCO report. Is it good for Kenyans? What does it entail? Why will people like, when you hear people like Opio Undai, start castigating Martha Karua? Okay? In Parliament, knowing that Martha Karua is not in Parliament and she cannot defend herself. Why is Uhuru rejecting the NADCO report? It's because he knows very well that it is not a solution to our country. Okay? This NADCO report, if you look at it in the nitty-gritty, I haven't read all of it. I've read a little bit of it. It is foreign sponsored. It's not the other. It's not Kenyans who have authored this report, and that is why when Uhuru is rejecting it, you see these two envoys from US and Britain go talk to him. Okay, so I want to vehemently say that I reject that report. Kama hata kama Baba, if for the first time I will disagree with Baba, nimwambie go to the nearest hell and jump. This is not what Kenyans want.
Wow, that's coming from Alex.
Because yes, because we should have spoken. The first thing that we said was this, Mr. Jakes. Tuacha manana ya maendeleo, let us solve the issue of the cost of living. Who is talking about the cost of living right now? Nobody. It is positions being given, not cost of living. And come January, school fees ya watoto wa primary inaenda juu. Jakes, can you understand what we are hurting? We are hurting our children. Politicians are having political expediency. And this time around, I'm telling Baba, go to the nearest hell and jump. Stop this nonsense. Because we can't be supporting you all these years only to start creating positions. Who wants positions? We want the cost of living to come down. Look, for instance, mafuta imerudi chini all over the world. And it's due to Biden fighting Putin, because Putin uses energy as his as what? So the crude oil imekuja chini. Why can't we fight for that so that the energy energy yetu iende chini kabisa, mafuta yetu iende chini kabisa, chakula yetu iende chini kabisa, instead of start awarding seats. We want seats. What is the position of cabinet at the prime cabinet? Wanaita prime cabinet secretary. What will that help you with? What will that help with Kenyans? Nothing. Two deputies of two deputies of minorities. What will that
Opposition
help with?
leader.
opposition. Hmm, okay, what
mhm,
will the seat of
mhm,
opposition help you? You see, opposition is not a seat, it's a role. Whether Raila is in opposition or not, he plays his opposition as a role. Hata kama the seat is not there, he plays
mhm,
it. Why should we create it?
mhm, mhm,
So those are the things I'm saying. For the first time, I'm disagreeing with my party ODM that look, if you're not
mhm,
going to sanitize your politics, some of us are going to leave, eh?
mhm,
But we don't have another home to go
mhm,
to. I wish EFF was in Kenya,
mhm,
economic freedom fighters in our lifetime.
mhm.
Thank you, James.
Okay. Kenya Rebel, you're in nice. What is exciting you, Kenya Rebel, on what Alex is saying?
Uh, I'm just appreciating Alex's honesty by
Mhm,
actually disagreeing with Raila, as he said for the first time. Speaking of
mhm.
sound cadets, I don't miss them. It's like going there. It's like listening to people who are going through therapy. It's always about Baba Baba and all everything that
No,
Ruto does. So
no,
they
no, no.
blocked me, but
Let's
that's beside the
not
point.
bastardize anything that Raila has said.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm just mentioning because Alex said they can't start me over there. So I was just making it clear.
Yeah,
But anyway,
but go ahead.
uh, the point is, I agree with Alex
Mhm,
that NADCO is not benefiting anyone, um, especially those positions.
mhm,
Uh, and to my point,
mhm,
whether Raila was
mhm,
advised or not, or he has read it or not, he should have just came out and say, "Listen, I'm rejecting this. This should not even go to the referendum." But let's not worry because I've
mhm,
been saying this and I've been saying this again. This NADCO report will not even make it to the referendum for the same reasons BBI did not make it. This was
mhm,
not a people initiated
mhm.
recommendation. For us to have a referendum,
Okay.
it has to come from the people, not from the executive or a bunch of people sitting at Bomas
Mhm,
trying
mhm,
to
mhm,
come up with
mhm,
what they think is best for the country. Thank you.
mhm. Okay. I see my good friend Captain and SG Kamau is in. Captain, just hold on, Kidogo. I'm coming to just hold on, because Kamau brings in something that I want to ask. SG Kamau, Jubilee made Azimio, and we have seen Jubilee kind of try to revive itself, and ODM as well from a different quarter. And what the papers flashed today is that probably we could be seeing the tail end of Azimio. From where you sit, Bwana Kamau, is Azimio dead? And as Jubilee, from where you sit, how is the relationship between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta? And why is it that Martha Karua seems to be drifting kidogo? So is it the beginning of the very end, SG Kamau?
Habari ya wadau, habari ya Wakenya, those listening us from the diaspora unanisikia vizuri. I
Mhm.
mean, how can Azimio die? You know, let me tell you, difference of opinion do not cannot kill Azimio. And I want to tell you, we have a
Okay.
greater enemy that even joins us. We
Mhm.
might differ on the reports
Mhm.
and many other things,
Mhm.
but with
Mhm.
Ruto, we remain united.
Mhm.
Because with that
Okay.
kind of a person, surely, where
Mhm.
will
Mhm.
Karua go? Where will Uhuru go?
Mhm.
All what we
Mhm.
want as the people in Azimio is a downfall of this government. How it falls
Okay.
down, when it falls down, is what we are looking after or for. Because
Mhm.
I don't think those are differences that can cause the end of Azimio as we know it. So for me, I'm not worried. I think it is because we are differing in the way
Mhm.
we are
Mhm.
receiving this. But that is not something that you
Mhm.
can build on, because I can assure you, come
Mhm.
next election or whatever
Mhm.
time that this government will not be there, my brothers, everybody
Mhm.
would want him to go, leave alone the politician.
Mhm.
Look at Raila
Mhm.
Molo Odinga, even business wise, he's suffering. Look at Mutu kama Uhuru, Mother Karua.
Mhm.
Everybody is in pain because of bad policies and stupid policies from the KK government. I don't
Okay.
think we are more united than before. The only thing
Mhm.
that is there is that Martha Karua is an independent mind, Uhuru Raila is an independent mind, Uhuru is an
Mhm.
independent mind. But that
Mhm.
doesn't mean that anybody can now go celebrating and taking coffee and changa, thinking that now they are going to
Mhm.
be ruling forever, because no, we are more united. In fact, let me tell you, every
Mhm.
action that Ruto makes even makes our group bigger. Because even the
Okay.
people who are in KK now, let me put it this way: if you are in
Mhm.
KK and you voted for Ruto and you thought maybe he'll bring changes in the coffee sector, after the mess that has been
Mhm.
there, those are people who are going to be in the opposition. And I'll tell you a story. When
Mhm.
Kamodo
Mhm.
was in Kanu, when
Mhm.
Moi wanted him to become an MP of Madioya, he divided that
Mhm.
constituency for more than 3 times. In fact, he
Mhm.
made it so small to a point whereby it's only his clan and his people who will vote for him. But when the
Mhm.
elections came, people were so united in Ford Asili and they voted overwhelmingly for the Ford Asili candidate who was never known, because that is
Mhm.
it was like an euphoria. What I'm trying to say,
Mhm.
when now Moi asked Kamodo, because they had to go and talk now, Kamodo was
Mhm.
challenged by Moi. Even your own people, your own village, your own family could not vote for you. Do you know what Kamodo
Mhm.
said? Even a
Mhm.
dog, if a dog could have gotten the candidature of Voda Siri, ingepata kuwa member of parliament of Madhya. What I'm trying to tell you in simple language is this. Yes?
Mhm.
When people
Mhm.
are tired of you,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what
Mhm.
you do, because let me tell you right now on the ground,
Mhm.
people are so tired of
Mhm.
this government. It is 1 year and a half, but it has
Mhm.
very stupid policies.
Mhm.
Very stupid policies. So
Mhm.
basically, I don't see a very major. I think it's a storm in a teacup. You know the way you're stirring your sugar, and
Mhm.
maybe kama ni siafu imeingia inaona kama ni storm. That is what is
Mhm.
happening. It's a storm in a teacup.
Mhm.
Is a molehill, which it's not
Mhm.
which is not a mountain.
Okay.
So personally, I am not even worried. I know that many people, even Azimio people, are very much united. They would want us to divide. And the reason
Mhm.
is because the popularity on the ground is gone. But I can assure you, any candidate that is going to be supported by Laila Amolo Odinga, by Mother Karua, by Uhuru Kenyatta will win, will even win by 90%. Because I can tell you as we speak
Azimio,
right now, I want to
Mr.
finish up
Chief.
by saying this.
Mhm.
By now, Western will not vote for KK, even there will be no MP in Western Kenya. In Nyanza, the
Mhm.
same. In Eastern, the same. In Coast, the same. In Nairobi, the same. In Mount Kenya, the same. So the only place that there will be a little bit, hii style ya kuambia Azimio inakufa ni wishful thinking,
Mhm.
wishful thinking ambayo
Mhm.
sikudanganyi haitasaidia
Mhm.
KK. KK is
Mhm.
drowning, na drowning very
Mhm.
fast. Today I was with
Now,
a person who
SG, SG, the headlines kwa the standard, I equally feel it misleading for some reasons, because this week alone I think Uhuru and Raila were in a Jubilee meeting. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
right.
they were in Raila Odinga's house, and I can tell you. Let me tell you. There's what we call
Mhm.
soft power, and hii ingine inaitangwa physical power. Hello.
Mhm. Oh, sorry, SG has dropped. I think he's having a call. But Alex, what do you make that the newspaper shows us there's a drift, yet these two gentlemen are meeting? But before I come to you, Alex, Mr. Captain, what do you make of what SG has raised, and what do you make of what the newspaper is reflecting
Okay.
today?
Before Captain comes in, I want to
Uh-huh.
engage Mr. SG. SG, long
Mm-hmm.
time I haven't seen you, and I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
I like your thought of. I love how you debate, and I've always loved your submissions. But let me tell you on this: Azimio is dead, and we ought to say the truth. And the reason I'm saying that is, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't say the truth, there's no way we can. Right now, we are orphans. There are things that were done that were
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to be done, Mr. S. The first one was
Mm-hmm.
when Madam Suluhu came and spoke with Raila, and they made it so secret until today. We've never heard the details of what they spoke.
Mhm.
The way KK is operating Kenya
Mhm.
Kwanza towards
Mhm.
Kisumu and towards Homa Bay, you can almost see that
Mhm.
there's a partnership, a subtle partnership that is working between Raila and Ruto. Let us not keep on
Mhm.
lying to ourselves so that we cannot tell. Let's tell Raila, if you're working with Ruto, we are leaving you.
Mhm.
For Martha Karua to take the stand that she's taking, I like her boldness because he has realized Kenyans have been played.
Mhm.
Eh? Mr. G, let's not come here and lie to our people that look
Mhm.
that Raila is not working with Ruto. Raila is working with Ruto.
Mhm.
The other day you saw, even if people want to convince me in a different way, what was Orengo
Mhm.
doing with Ruto in India?
Okay.
What was Orengo doing with that? When you see Orengo do something, what was Orengo doing with Ruto in India? Did you not
Mhm.
see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that not
Mhm.
telling?
Mhm.
So Raila has betrayed us this time, big time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we allowed him to betray us last time when he went into
Mhm.
partnership with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
agreed into the handshake, thinking that
Mhm.
that was a way
Mhm.
for him to come where to
Mhm.
become a president.
Okay.
Do you know there are so many big people who are so bitter with that? People like Duke. Remember Duke who was in
Mhm.
South Mutembe?
Mhm.
They got so betrayed about the handshake to a point
Mhm.
that they say they are not going to vote for Raila.
Mhm.
So what we are saying is this: let us not
Mhm.
pacify Raila anymore. This
Mhm.
time around, I'll tell him to the power, stop this
Mhm.
nonsense of the NADCO
Mhm.
report. Jex, let
Okay.
me ask you,
Mhm.
we hata captain atakwambia, we refuse to debate William
Mhm.
Samoei Ruto
Mhm.
during the presidential campaign, isn't it? We refuse
Mhm.
to debate him, isn't it? On the basis of
Mhm.
morality, isn't it?
Mhm.
Then why should we sit with him right now and start talking? Is this
Mhm.
still the same guy? Okay.
Mhm.
And I'll tell
Mhm.
you, Ruto has lost so many people because the way he has made the life of people to be so difficult. People like
Mhm.
Captain, they were supporting vehemently, but they have
Mhm.
reached a point they'll say, no, 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 no. William Samoei Ruto, maisha ya
Mhm.
Wakenya imekuwa ngumu. Unaelewa?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's what we must tell him. So for Baba,
Mhm.
again, instead of defending us to
Mhm.
pacify Ruto,
Mhm.
he's against the grain. This is the
Mhm.
only man in Kenya, by
Mhm.
privilege and by merit, who is
Mhm.
able
Mhm.
to hold Ruto in his balls and
Mhm.
tell him stop it. Hapa Baba akikufa
Okay.
leo hivi, hakuna mtu anaweza shtua Ruto.
Mhm.
Ruto will become a dictator for life.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
if we have Baba today, let him do his
Mhm.
job. Let him not start
Mhm.
doing things that we don't like. Angalia
Mhm.
Wakalenjin sahi wanalia.
Mhm.
During Moi's time, Moi was
Mhm.
good to his people. You
Mhm.
could go to Sacho. I schooled in Sacho. You could go to Sacho, Kabarnet, and see
Mhm.
life was good.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hii goat nini walifanya leo, auction walifanya. People so
Mhm.
poor to a point that people cannot even buy things for Christmas.
Mhm.
Eh? So what we are
Mhm.
saying is this, Mr. Jakes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Baba is going on the wrong direction. Hii kitu ya watu wanataka kutudanganya saa
Mhm.
yote ati Baba is
Mhm.
always right, akikwambia ati sijui mtu bibi yako ako na mimba aanza kununua diapers. For me, I'm past that. Baba ndiye anatakana
Mhm.
atutetee. Eh? Baba
Mhm.
ndiye anatakana atutetee.
Mhm.
Hii nchi yetu it's going to the dogs. Hata watu walipigia kama
Mhm.
wakina Mr. Captain walipigia Ruto kura. Wanalia saa hii.
Mhm.
Eh? Wakalenjin KCC, tulifikiria KCC itawekwa hata Eldoret. Hakuna KCC Eldoret. These people are looting like they're looting the country. If somebody like Murkomen can take a bribe of 100 million on one deal, imagine chapa hiyo pesa by 150 Kenya shillings. We're talking about billions of money with one bribe. Ukiangalia the report that Madam Nyakango,
Wow.
the report that Madam Nyakango is going to come up with, ndio hiyo wanamfightia. It shows that so far the cases. Now, I was privy of that message the other day na ni rafiki yangu ambaye ni MP alinipea. So far 2.4 trillion has been stolen. 2.4. We used to think billions are big things. Sahi watu wameanza kuwa matrillionaires. Can you imagine? One person is richer than Safaricom. Kenya River, one person is richer than Safaricom combined with Kenya Airways. What nonsense is that? Now these people, they don't have companies.
Interesting, Alex. And
One question.
umekoroga sana captain. No, captain, umekorogwa sana. Can I hear from you before I bring back SG Kenya Rebel and Mr. G? Yes, captain.
I don't want Alex to disappear from there because I want to understand.
He's not.
The last message from Alex, he was talking of Kenya Airways and all whatever. I want to ask Alex because some of us, we are not good in taking to know who is holding which position, who is holding another position. I want to ask Alex, which position is the former MP for Soy, Caleb Kositany, is holding in Kenya Airways? Because even me, I'm in dilemma. I don't know.
Is the chairman of Kenya Airways Authority. And
Kenya Airways Authority.
Kenya Airways Authority. And let me tell you, Mr. Yeah, let me tell you, Mr. Captain.
Yes, sir.
If you know some of these things, you hear them, and sometimes you just want to. I don't know if you cry, you shout, ama upige nduru kama Lejo Maria. Unajua Kenya River looks like a Lejo Maria. You can tell me what I need to do. But if you look at what happened on that Saturday when nini ilienda Kenya Power nini moto ilienda,
hapo ndio tuko.
Hapo there were 3 aircrafts that took over. Unaelewa? So kuna kitu iliekwa kule na wakafanya nini? Wakatransport. And Koistani is privy of that.
Yes.
Okay? Koistani is privy of that. Wakazima moto Kenya mzima ndio wa transport whatever they were transporting. And what they were transporting, we still don't know. So, and that is why I was like, let Koistani, look, unajua huyu mtu anaitwa Koistani, nataka niwaambie juu yake kidogo. Koistani ndiye alikuwa, was it Assistant Secretary General wa Jubilee?
Yes.
Huyu jamaa alitetea Ruto sana.
It is Kositani.
Kositani. It was UDA.
Yeah. And then he went to run for governorship, akashindwa against koti moja. And I was wondering why Ruto hajampea chair for a very long time. Unaelewa? Ruto took time before he appointed him. Unaelewa? But alipomwappoint akampea a very lucrative seat ya Kenya Airways Authority. Wacha nikukumbushe Mr. Jexki. When Ruto became the president, 2 things he did first. Captain, you're making noise. So
Go ahead,
Mr.
go
G,
ahead, nimemute.
yeah, Mr. G, unakumbuka wakati Ruto alikuwa president, kitu ya kwanza alifanya is to award the judiciary was it 800 million, something of the sort. But then the second thing he did was to take the soldiers of Kenya to Congo. Have you ever asked yourself why Kenyan soldiers are in Congo?
Is
It's
it
not
Congo,
easy.
Burundi?
It's Congo.
Mm-hmm.
During Moi's time as the president, there used to be a company called, and I think Mr. G knows it better maybe than me, Londro East Africa, because I think it was based in Nairobi and Mombasa.
The Makto thing, London in South Africa.
Exactly. Now you have brought in the name I wanted. The person who was the managing director of that company was Makto. Tulikuwa tunamuita Bwana Dawa. So Londro East Africa used to smuggle gold from Congo, used to smuggle diamonds from Zimbabwe, what you call black diamonds, okay? And they used to be the conduit. Kenya has no gold. Kenya has no minerals. But Kenya is a place whereby you ship things from all the minerals in Africa get shipped from Kenya, if you don't know that. Hii Tanzanite ya Tanzania yote, sisi ndio tuna smuggle. Unaelewa? So the question is, did they smuggle gold to take it to Dubai? Because Ruto was in Dubai conspicuously. And that day that there was a blackout, Chirchir was coming from Dubai to Unaelewa? So we need to ask these pertinent questions and forbear them and say, look, you cannot cause a blackout the whole of Kenya when you are doing
I
some
think
shady deals.
because I don't want Alex to disappear. Alex, it is you till your time. Just a minute or even a second.
Go ahead.
Why is it that you are coming inside the country and you are the minister and the electricity is disappearing when you are there? You want to justify that you are not aware. Why is it every week you want electricity in Kenya to be off in JKI? Why not any other place? Are you trying to tell us that you want to smuggle gold in the name of mnatudanganya hakuna
What do
stima?
you mean any other
Unapeleka
place? Inapotea Kenya nzima.
no problem. Kenya
Inapotea
mzima,
Kenya nzima, my friend.
Kenya mzima, I don't have a problem kwa ushago kwetu. Haizina shida. Mbona JKIA where we are supposed to have generators. Mbona generator haifanyi kazi? Mbona haifanyi
Sio ati
kazi?
generator, sio ati generator. Mr. G, maybe you can
Watu wawaje kutudanganya, na mimi nataka niseme hivi Jakes, mimi hapo hivyo Alex and Mr. G, tukipatiwa position kwa hii serikali ama kwa hii dunia, let's do what is right to the people that you are supposed to serve. Usitumie hiyo position kufinya watu wengine. Saa hii anyway, Alex continue. Alex continue.
So nilikuwa nataka niulize Mr. G question Mr. G, let me ask you a question. You work in the port. You work in the port of Mombasa. Do you think you don't have backup generators?
In fact, Mr. Jakes, in port we have a small station of electricity station, a small one. Alafu tuko na generator and saa hii we have something this kitu naitwaje hii mambo ya solar. It also in port. So at any time power inapotea in port, always automatically power inachukua off. The small station inachukua inaleta power, the generator they are working and the pia hii solar ina work, so hakuna vile utapata total darkness in port 24/7 power iko.
Exactly, and that's why I'm telling you, do you think it was intentional or it was a sabotage? It was a sabotage. Hii maneno, all this nonsense Murkomen anataka kutuconvince is nonsense. They turned off the electricity intentionally. And once they turned it off, they messed up the life of Kenyans. And it was 18 hours. 18 hours. And hospitals were what? Hospital did not have power. People lost millions of money because of insidious deals that Ruto and his government. I don't know. For me, and this is where I'll maybe for a while I'll finish my remarks. This man called Churchill, for me, he looks like a vampire. I mean, you look at him, the guy doesn't even care about Kenyan. You know, Churchill, if you look at his history, Churchill as a person, he has a very bad history. At some point, he was the minister for energy. He got fired. Ile deal walifanya na Koskei, the former minister for finance, ikakuja kuleta shida. They shipped billions of money to where? To Tanzania. Zilipofika Tanzania, Magufuli akakataa, akasema hatuendi kufanya nini? So these people in a span of 1 year vitu wamefanya. Mr. Jakes hata huwezi ongea. Wameharibu nchi. Thank you.
Now, let me come back to you, Mr. Captain. We are still on the matter Azimio fallout. You as a KK person, and Alex equally has said, you, despite being in KK, you feel that you are shortchanged. With Ruto coming together with Raila, what would it mean to you as a Kenya Kwanza supporter? Would you like that first?
You understand me, Jakes, for me, it's not a surprise on my side for Raila. In fact, it's Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga and the president of Kenya to be together. Because when you come to Pentagon, they were the formers of ODM itself. They are the people who formed ODM to be, until even right now as we talk, ODM where it is because of the president himself, William Ruto. And sometimes when we even the president is in some rally, some places like Kisumu and all whatever, unasikia rais akisema mimi nilianzisha ODM na niko na shares pale. Nani aliwaambia niliondoka ODM? Huyo ODM hiyo. Kuna mtu alisema nimeondoka ODM. Unasikia wale wafuasi wakifurahia wakisema enyewe hakuna barua ametuambia ameondoka ODM. So when Raila Odinga and Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga and the president himself come together, for me it's not a surprise. The birds of the same feathers flock together. And right now, the way they have seen things, the way they are going, I think things are going to the position where Raila wants. That's why at this time, you cannot hear Raila, oh, Raila that. Maybe supporters wake kama kina Sifuna na kina nani, they wanajaribu kulalamika. But otherwise, kukuja kwake together between Raila Odinga and the president, Mheshimiwa William Ruto and Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga to be together, for me, it's not a surprise on my side. I knew that even these talks in Bomas, one day, one time, ilikuwa ikuja either positive or negative. But I'm seeing it has become a positive thing. When you go to Jacaranda's story, there is a way that these guys from Jacaranda, they tell NAC leader, the woman, this mother, I don't know the name. The name is just trying to forget. They try to tell the mother Karua, that we cannot anymore call for maandamano. We cannot anymore call for our supporters to go for maandamano. You yourself bring your own supporters to go for maandamano. Even as ODM, we cannot go there. And now we are fully supporting the government. You understand? That is where I knew now, this is now the end of Azimio. And right now, as we talk, that is what we are discussing. You see? We might be taking Bunge la Wananchi as a joke, as a what, but there is a message they are delivering to our people. Even right now, as we talk here, some people are listening on us. Some people, they are maybe on backstage listening on what you are saying. Some are in comment section listening on us. But I tell you, Jakes and Mr. SG and Kenya Rebel and Honorable Alex there, that we are delivering a message here. Don't think we are here to waste our time. There is a message we are giving to the people, and they are taking that message to be the valuable one. So right now, as we talk, Jakes, you are asking me about the hand of Azimio and the government. I can tell you, the government is now working with the opposition side. When I say opposition, I mean Raila Odinga. William Ruto is now working with the Prime Minister Raila Odinga. That is what I can tell you. Yes.
Okay.
And
Bwana.
unfortunately, our people are refusing to accept that. You tell them, you look at from the, especially Mr. G. Mr. G, let me tell you the truth. Connect the dots to form the straight line. The day that Namwamba, William Ruto, and Raila went to watch that game, was it Gor Mahia or what? Do you remember that, Mr. G? That is when it all started. And when you see Orengo, and let me reiterate, when you see Orengo in India with William Samuel Ruto, what did he go to do with him? Okay, those are the questions. And then when we tell our people, wanaanza kusema, oh, it is the county government of it's not conspicuous that you find Orengo and Ruto in one. Let me tell you, if after Raila lost the election last time, the first place he went after he went from Zanzibar, he went to India. Modi is Raila personal friend. And let me tell you, I know Modi personally because when I went to India, I went to some place called Surat. Surat is where I used to go to church. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. Modi at that particular time was the governor of a state called Gujarat. So he used to come to our church, even though he's a Hindu. Okay? He's extremely close to Raila Amolo Odinga. So even this deal that they went to sign in India, it is Raila sponsored. And that is why, courtesy of the people of CIA, Orengo went there. They are going to give them some generators or some power grid that Orengo wants to put in. But in general, what I'm saying is this. We did not expect, after the spirited fight of contentious election, that Raila is going to start working with William Samoei Ruto. But our people are still disagreeing and saying, Jakes, let me tell you for the record, there are many things that are predicted politically. And because of the cathedral mindset sometimes I have, many people come and at first people will hate me for saying something. And later on, when they confirm, they say that you are right. On this, I will tell you, Raila is working with Ruto. And that is not good for the supporters. Thank you.
Jakes, can I make
Alex,
a quick contribution?
Alex, Kenya Rebel and many, just one moment. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be telling you why we are discussing this in a short while. And equally, I'll be playing a clip as well to inform us even more. But asante sana wewe unajiunga nami. I see Dr. Rika Pakondani, asante sana. Asili to TV, I see you. Thank you very, very, very much. I see Mr. Michael Hood, unaniambia unatazama ukiwa maeneo ya USA. Karibu sana. It's good to see you. Good to have you on the show. Asante. I think you're equally joining us. I can see you. Hope you're well, my brother.
Am I muted? Hey, what's going on with y'all, man? Y'all doing all right?
You're good?
Yeah, it was good,
Yeah,
man. I
we're
was coming
well.
through,
So
man.
how
I
are
tell
you?
you, yeah, I'm doing all right, man. I was coming through YouTube streams and I saw y'all. Y'all was talking about some like real stuff. Like y'all got your heads together, man. Y'all ain't no dumb motherfuckers. So y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I have my face again? Yeah, yeah. But let me say, yeah, y'all talking about a lot of real stuff, man. I was listening. I was like, yeah. Dang, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come here over here. Like, do you do this often and stuff like this?
Yeah. Yeah, we do these often from 10 p.m. Kenyan time. I think it's normally around 2 p.m.
Yeah, it's
US time.
6:45. It's 6:45 p.m. where I'm at.
Right now it's 2:45 p.m.
Two
Kenyan time.
45, yeah, man, yeah, cause I was liking your vibe, man. I was liking all your vibes, like yeah, I was like,
Mhm.
it's kind of hard for y'all to understand how I talk in America, but yeah, I was liking the vibe. I was like, yo, man, they talking about some real stuff, man. Y'all like got your head together, man.
Mhm.
Y'all got your
Mhm.
heads together, man. Y'all talking about real stuff,
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Which
Mhm.
state are you?
I'm in South Carolina,
You are a South Carolinian.
Oh,
South Carolina, and
fantastic.
by Florida and
You,
stuff like that.
your
Where
senator
are
is
you, Kenya Rebel?
Say it again.
your
I'm in
senator is a
ATL,
black
Atlanta.
guy.
You are
No, I
in
can't hear
where?
you. You're breaking up. Say it again.
I'm saying, who
I'm
is
in
your
Atlanta.
senator?
You said what again?
Who is your senator?
Oh, my senator is Lindsey Graham. He's a fucking white cracker. You know what a cracker is? We call crackers over here. We call white cracker. And I'm white though. You didn't see my face. You know that I'm
Mhm.
white. Look, I'm white.
Mhm.
Come on, man.
Oh.
So yeah. So America's fucked up right now, man. America is straight fucked up right now. I'm sorry to cuss or
Mhm.
anything like that. I just kind of
Mhm.
hang. I'm Southern, though. I'm from the Southern states of America and stuff like that.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. We are discussing
Well, let me
Kenyan
ask you a question.
politics.
Let
I
me
don't
ask
know
you
if
one
you
kind
know.
of question. Can I ask you a question where you live at? Like over there,
Please,
like
please
over here
do.
in America, they're so worried about color and stuff like that. That like
Mhm.
they feel Black Americans over here look down on Africans that come to America,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Because they don't understand like
Mhm.
you come to Africa, like they think that they're if you come
Mhm.
to Africa, well, you got so many nations, there's so many different languages and stuff like. What nation y'all in?
Mhm.
I said, what nation you're in?
We are in Kenya.
Mhm.
You're in Kenya, so okay. Oh yeah, Kenya, yeah. See, they don't know the uniqueness of Africa that has so many different nations and different aspects of it. So like a lot of people don't understand it. That every country has different languages and different
Mhm.
customs that they do. You know what I'm saying? That's great, man. I love that shit.
Mhm.
Come to America, everybody's the same,
Mhm.
man. Yo, you come to America though, you'll love it first. See, you want to go to New York, Los Angeles. See, I live down south in a small town. I'm like in a small town down south. So I really don't go to big cities in America and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm down mostly where I live at is mostly black folks. If you understand what I'm saying when I say black, yeah, mostly black folks. It ain't too many white people. So I don't know no white people. I grew up around black folks. If you understand what I'm saying, I know my slang, man. It's kind of like, what do you mean? It's kind of slang, man. You can understand. Just tell me if you can't understand it. Yeah, but yeah, most people that I grew up with, it was around black folks, stuff like that. And say, man, see, like America, man, America's fucked up, man. I'm sorry to say, but it's America. People want to come to America and get the American dream, man. You come to America, man. There ain't no American dream no more in America. That shit is gone, man. America's collapsing right now. America's about to fall. It's about to be World War III.
Now let me ask you. Now that as much as we are in a different part of this world, let me ask you this: what is happening between Biden and Trump in as much as American politics is concerned?
Lord, Biden can't even talk straight no more. Biden is like Biden is
Mm-hmm.
John. The
Mm-hmm.
Democrats of Biden and the Democrats and Trump and the Republican. Trump is going to court, man. Trump has like 74 felonies, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Biden ain't doing nothing. See, the border of America is wide open. So anybody can come to the border right now. You can cross the border and get a card. It's $6,000 a month. Just come across the border. That's all you gotta do, man. You get a card, $6,000 a month.
Now, at
See,
one point,
go ahead, sir.
during the final days of his tenure as president, Trump was impeached. Would that strain his re-election? He was to be re-elected.
No, that's not gonna affect it. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna affect it.
Do you see him coming back?
I do see him coming back, and I don't see him coming back. Because things that we got to
What informs your
understand.
two angles?
Go ahead.
What informs your two sides of view?
It's kind of like this. It's kind of we know that the Europeans over there in London and stuff run the world. All of them run the world. If y'all kind of have the information, do y'all know who the Rothschilds are and stuff like that? Yeah, them like them. All of them together. I think sometimes Trump is part of that shit too. Now, I tell a lot of people that I live with, white folks and black folks. I tell them, man, I said, you like Trump? It's like, I'm thinking Trump might fucking turn on motherfuckers. You know, it's like, sorry to cuss like that, just a cuss part. Like both of the sides, both Democrats and Republicans in America are both working with the same bird. You know, they're Freemasonries and all that. Go ahead.
Now, these two presidencies, how would it affect their African relationship in the sense of how, for instance, Kenya deals with America and how America looks at Africa or other African countries? How would it affect any of these presidency, either Biden's presidency or Trump's presidency? Would
Yeah,
there be a change?
that's a good question. With the African nations, I was hearing a lot like 6-7 months ago about that Putin, Russia was helping out Africa. Is that true? So he was helping out more than the NATO nations and stuff like that. You know the Chinese is coming in. You know they dirty. You know they taking all the resources from Africa and stuff like that. So it's kind of like this, man. America's about to collapse in 2030. America's gonna fall, and the dollar paper that the new American dollar, that's not gonna be worth anything no more.
With the intro of BRICS states and all, how has it affected America?
Well, it kind of it's affected it a little bit because inflation has went up to almost 12%. But see, our news over here in America lies to the people. They lie to them every day, and our Americans are gullible. You know, they're stupid. They just gullible and they just believe it. Don't question nothing. Just go what they say. You know, I was like, you stupid motherfuckers. You know that's how it is in America. They just go with the narrative of what the news tells them. But there's a lot of people that are waking up. It's getting to the point, but like these global elitists and stuff, like I'd rather be over there where y'all at because ain't nothing gonna happen over there. Everything's gonna happen in America. Go ahead.
Maybe the final question to you. With President Biden and President Trump's presidency, which presidency favored the African continent?
Trump was doing a lot for African Americans over here in America and stuff. He was doing a lot, but see, the media made him look like a racist. Him and Ice Cube, if you heard of Ice Cube, stuff like that. Him and them, they had plans to help the inner cities and communities that were struggling. But the Democrats are the racist people that didn't want to do it. See, I don't understand how black folks here in America can vote for Democrats for 70 years. Like Biden, you know what Biden told black folks here in America? If you vote for Trump, you ain't black. What kind of shit is that?
Now, will that form of politics hold water in the next election?
It kind of because Joe Biden's approval rating is like 32% right now, and Trump's is like 49%.
Okay, What would be causing that form of what would be causing that change in polling, given that last time Biden was quite ahead and actually he won with a huge margin? What might inform his drastic fall?
Well, yeah, when he won in what was that 2020
Hmm.
when he won let me see. Okay, they stole the elections.
Okay.
They had stole it from the American people.
Hmm.
A lot of black folks are, but they were voting for Trump because they were like, yeah, Trump. He, Trump was giving out money like it was. You get tax breaks if you had a small business or something like that. Trump was doing
Hmm.
all that stuff. See, the media doesn't say that stuff around
Okay.
here.
Now I didn't catch your name. Are you Michael?
Yeah, Michael Hood.
Uh-huh. Thank you very, very much. This is
Yeah, I'm a
Jake.
sub to you. I'm a sub to y'all. Well, what time do you usually come on?
We come on from 10 p.m. Kenyan time. Now that I think that's around
Mm-hmm.
2 p.m. thereabout in the US. But today we had an early show. That's why probably you were able to catch on
Uh
us.
huh.
But probably you can, where you are right now, there's a text coming in. That text will send you a link where you can join us, and maybe whenever we are on you should be able to be notified. I've sent you a link on the private chat. You'll be able to see that, and equally you can subscribe and follow us on our YouTube channel. It's Afric24, where we keep matters
Oh,
Africa
okay.
alive,
All
discussed.
right.
So on the private chat I've
Yeah,
equally
yeah.
sent you a link. I don't know if you have seen it.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can able to follow that and equally subscribe to Afric24 and follow us on that, and as well you can follow us.
Let me ask you a question. You ever heard of the
Please do.
CIA?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of CIA people around here on YouTube everywhere.
Hmm.
All they do is like being undercover and shit like that. They go to every channel and stuff to see what people saying stuff like that.
Hmm.
That's what the CIA is doing right now.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah,
Thank you
y'all
very,
cool though.
very
Y'all
much.
cool, man. You know, yeah, man. Respect,
Yeah.
man. I'll
Hmm.
sub to you, man.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And please
All
spread the
right.
message. Let many know about our channel, that here they can find the real content on African stories. Here they can make
Yeah, man. Yo,
known
much love for Africa,
themselves,
man. Yo, much love for
what
Kenya,
we
dog.
are. And we invite you to Kenya. It's an awesome country. It's a beautiful
Mm-hmm.
country. We have the finest of weather. We have the finest of nature. So come to our country and you will love it. Africa has
Have
a
you
story that I yet
have you been
yet
to
people know.
Gambia? You been to Gambia?
No, no, not yet. But it's a country near our country. So you should visit
Mm-hmm.
Africa. It's a beautiful continent with amazing people.
I'll do that, man. Yo, respect, man. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much, Michael Hood. Thank you
All
very,
right.
very, very much. I'm grateful and I appreciate for your time. Okay, nakwambia, si leo tulikuwa na wale wa jamaa wa kizungu ile ya ndani, English of the nose. Yeah, asante sana Okay. We are Afric 24, and as usual the show must go on. We get so many kinds of people. Yeah, huyo ni jamaa akiwa kule Marekani. Asante sana. Mr. G, I don't know if you're with me. Mr. G.
I am around. I was listening to, unajua kuna nini,
Mgeni akiingia unajua
kuna
unampa tu dakika kidogo, at least unawezi furusha mgeni.
no, there's nini, nani alikuwa anaongea huyu
Ah,
this guy of Bangi anaitwanga nani? Huyu jamaa wa Bangi huyu.
kuna
Unajua kuna
nani?
matanga kwa kina Shifuna.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
So
we were to
baba,
come to that topic when Alex is coming back. We are about to discuss about Sifuna, Laurence Sifuna, his contribution to politics, and we wish him fairly well, even as he is being laid to rest at them. I think the burial is happening now. Huyu jamaa wa Bangi unamwita nani? Wajakoya.
Wajakoya is on the mic sahi, ndio nilikuwa najaribu kumsikiza kidogo.
Oh, he's on the deck. I can still add that. What is Wajakoya saying? Sorry for that.
Was just complaining. I don't know what happened because I think there's an MC, see kama an MC ama ni nani, but somebody who aliongea vibaya ikamkasisha, so he was just complaining about what happened, na akawa anasema what we went through akiwa kule America, what happened to him wakati wa Moi. So he's trying to tell a story of what happened or the events that took place. By that time alikuwa bado polisi na some people ambao wanamdarau na alikuwa na polisi. Watu wengine wanasema ni kama kusoma Dieta alikuwa amesoma na amepita. So he was trying to bring up a story. That's why I was trying to listen to him and hear. Yeah.
We can hear him together so that tusikie what is Wajakoya, the one jamaa kwa jamaa wa Roots Party, correct? Leo kutakuwa na drama. We will have this kwa show ya jioni. But ladies and gentlemen, what is currently happening is the burial of one Laurence Suna in Western, and who is now on the deck is none other than Wajakoya
Baba
himself.
Raila kwani mulere mshirikulia muliro bucheni tulita Raila Amolo Odinga. Haya, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Again. Mama ambao wako hapa na familia, mapadri wote, kwanza mniombee, manake nimeambiwa na mtu mwingine hapa kwamba mimi navutanga hiyo kitu, lakini nitamsamehe because ni mtoto mdogo namna hii, ni MCA. Mungu amshukuru. I'm going to tell you people, nitawaambia nizokubabolera neneshiro kubabolera. Mtu anaweza kuuliza na huyu wazimu ya bangi alitokea wapi? Kuna gavana hapa nilikuwa naye KIA kwa mwaka mzima tukisoma, kweli rongo, 1989. Na kuna mwalimu wangu hapa, sijui mwalimu wangu ameenda, hebu simama tu. Mheshimiwa Munyasi alifundisha mimi form 5 na form 6 Mumias Boys High School. Nilipita ama sikupita? Endelee ama nisiendelee? Alafu mnyinyi hapa anakuja na fura hapa, na yeye na mimi tulikuwa kiganjo tukiwa askari kwa kosi moja. Niseme nisiseme? Omanyira bandu bali sasa mbusa ituli ngoro. Mheshimiwa former governor wa Bungoma, ndabu chama, because your father is a hero. I don't know that your father is here. Baba yuko wapi Wangamati? Mnangojea yeye afe ndio mweke barabara inaitwa Wangamati. Bure kabisa. Mheshimiwa Lusaka, ambia hii tu MCA yetu wako tu, tuende bunge tukae chini tupitishe katiba tuwe na Wangamati airport Bungoma. Nimesema ama sijasema? Na mimi Jaramogi Oginga na James Agrio Orengo. Huyu James mnaona huyu. Jaramogi alipokutana na sisi London, nikaambia mzee, mimi nilikuwa nimefungwa na Moi. Saizi mimi nachimba makaburi London. Mimi ni refugee, nataka kwenda shule, lakini makaratasi yangu ilibaki Kenya. Jaramogi alikuja akaambia James Agri, chukua makaratasi ya huyo kijana kutoka ile shule zote alikuwa. Nikaletewa na Mr. John Ward. Na ndio nimesoma, nikasoma. I'm now doing my 14th degree. Kwa hivyo bwana KMCA, rudi shule. Usija kuambia hata watu ati sisi tuko hapa tunaenda kwa Wetangula. Wetangula my friend, don't remind me of Wetangula. Niseme ama sijiseme? Kwa jana unakuja hapa kama bado kuna makamazi, unaambia watu Wetangula ni mwami. Hata juzi Wetangula ameniita kwenda bunge. Walai sikuwa nimesimama. Nilikuwa askari wakati alikuwa anaapisha bunge. Wakati aliita bwana Karuto hapo. Ni Wetangula mwami Wetangula. Kwa hivyo msalamie Wetangula mbole mno mwami yesi. Sasa kwa Waluya tuko na Waluya mara ngapi? Na hiyo ilisemwa hapa na mheshimiwa yule aliyekuwa mheshimiwa wapi? Kunakuwa kubera kusasa no kukomere kulire ko indandi indai. Ameongea mpaka nikanyamaza. Huyo mbunge yako wapi? Huyo mbunge wa Bumula, former Bumula. Oyo no msata kwenye kulolembu 2027 na ndanyala kanomba tawe. Amesema kuna Waluya ina ngapi? Wale ambao wacha kuja kutuombea ujinga hapa, tunaenda huko kama baba yuko hapa. Baba bado yuko hapa. Waluke wakati umekaa jela miaka mingi, sisi tumekulilia. Wewe unakumbuka wakati nimekupata pale nikasema nini? Ukikaa hapa unakuja kusimama chobolambo wajakoesho wako nyatawe. Alafu Waluya wakiiba wanasema ati sasa Luya unity. Luya unity ya Mluya ni yule ambaye ameiba. Wakati ameiba anasema nimezingiziwa, Waluya kujeni mkae na sisi na mimi mniokoe. Lakini sio Wetangu, sio nani? Sio mzee. Tunajua wale ambao wameiba. Na ukiwa mwizi beba msalaba yako. Wapi mheshimiwa Sifuna? Tafadhali simama. When it comes to Luya unity, the only person I believe in Luya unity ni mheshimiwa Laurence Sifuna. Head of history today, because I'm following the footsteps of this man. I will be on the right side of the late Sifuna. Nitaongea courageously, sitamuibia mtu, hata ukitukana mama yako. Niseme nisiseme? Alafu wengine wanasema ati huyu Wajakoya ati ni bangi ya mao. Siembo langendi. Ninasema kwamba kuna wale watu, kuna inji fulani, uchumi wa Kenya leo umezoroteka. Ukienda kwa uchumi ya Canada, saa hizi walipata nini? Baba Wetangula Bwana Sifuna, mimi nitasema hivi. Hata tulikuwa tunajua nini inafanyika. Kwa hivyo mimi sitishiki, nakaa kama huyu mwanaume. Kwa hivyo mimi nasema asante, na mheshimiwa Nakumicha, mimi nimekutambua leo. Yale umesema hapo, umesema vitu vingapi? Viwili. Kitu ya kwanza ile ulisema, baba angalia wale wako nje, awaite ndani. Sie mkanefu na kusimire. Orio mno, no, asanteni sana.
Hello.
Okay,
Tafadhali.
and we shall be
Nataka niulize kwa heshima
to Raila Odinga when he'll be speaking.
wale viongozi ambao
Before Raila comes on, I want to talk about now this what is happening now. This is the burial of one Laurence Sifuna. Alex, please tell our viewers who is Laurence Sifuna and what he was in our Kenyan politics. Many of us, including myself, probably didn't know about him or have little knowledge about who Laurence Sifuna is and could be.
So, Sifuna is a legend. I got privileged to school in Western Province. My uncle used to be the provincial commissioner during the Moi's time in Kakamega, but before that he was in Bungoma. So I have a lot of respect for the Bungoma people, because the Bungoma people actually initiated my intellectual capacity. Because they were very hardworking. Refined people like Edwin Sifuna are a product of the Bungoma education. And most of them are either Quakers or Friends. Friends, they don't have Catholic, they don't have charismatics. So those times that I was in Bungoma, there were two politicians that I will never forget. They initiated my political career, and that was Sifuna and Wangamati. And then we had Shikuku. Shikuku was on the other side. Then we had Elijah Mwangale. Okay, we had Elijah Mwangale. Those were iconic politicians. And also there was this one that died when he was in a plane with Biwott. Yeah, yeah. So they were with Biwott when they died. So what I'm saying is, not, I'm finishing. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, Laurence, for people who do not know, he was part of the 7 bearded brothers. You want me to go in here?
Are you ready to go?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I want to finish what I was doing.
Yeah.
So he was part of the 7 bearded brothers. Those were Anyona, Koigi wa Mwere, Sifuna, and others. These were a formidable group of people who shaped the second liberation of Kenya. The second liberation of Kenya was very, very difficult if you don't understand. For Moi to have accepted the removal of Section 2A, it was a fight. So what I'm saying is that we ought to echo the man and say that he did his job as a member of parliament. People like Muskari Kombo were groomed by him. And you have seen a caricature of I'll talk to you later.
Oh, sorry, Alex is handling some matters. But bwana Mr. G, nimekusikia ukifurahia sana. Probably you understand some Luya kidogo. Tell us what is jamaa Wajakoya saying?
You know, Wajakoya is somebody who likes drama. And mostly alikuwa akiongea by the time okay, I know Kibaluya because I come from Busia. I'm a Luya na nasikia vizuri kabisa. What he was talking, I think he was passing a message to those people. Kuna watu ambao walikuwa kama walikuwa wanamdharau kiasi. Unajua mostly some people huwa wanapenda kumdharau kiasi. Si kujificha. Ukweli kuna watu kwa wanamuona akiongea kuhusu mambo ya banki nini wanamdharau. So he was trying to defend himself. But now pia anatumia another language kama vile ukiona nikicheka kiongea Kibaluya, anatumia ni language mbaya kama okay, si mbaya vile lakini iko humorous kiasi. Unapata ana describe an MP kwa sababu MP amenona, anamuongelesha kwa anaongea kwa Kibaluya kwa MT amenona, kwa na tumbo kubwa, sija amekaa vipi, anakuja hapa anaongea ni those are the words ambao alikuwa anatumia akiongea pale. So unapata ni vitu ambavyo yani is a language ambao hafai kutumia but always use those words. Yeah. So ni mtu ambaye anaongea tu mostly kwa anajaribu ku defend us. I didn't listen to what those guys said before because I think ni kama walikuwa anamhit sana, so he was trying to hit back. Akijaribu kuambia what he was feeling. Yeah.
Do you know anything about Laurence Sifuna?
No, Laurence Sifuna, okay, I don't have any idea of how he used to do his politics. Sijamsikiza sana. Ni mtu ambaye nimemsikia tu wakati amekufa. So I don't have anything that I can relate with it to say that maybe I know him. The only person that I know at the moment is the Sifuna, the senator for Nairobi. But this guy, yeah,
I don't know if they are related.
Yeah, they are related. I think he's the uncle to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they are related. But listen to how people wameongea, I think it's somebody who was also in politics.
Himself. So let's listen in kidogo to Oparanya. The one who has just spoken is Mr. Eugene Omalo. Let's listen in to Mr. Oparanya.
Dama Butere, Kakamega County. Davele governor wa mwisho wa Kakamega County. Zachula ndi deputy party leader wa ODM na pia ndi chairman wa Azimio Executive Council. Pia mimi nimekuja hapa kuleta rambirambi. Sa mimi mwenyewe na familia yangu kwa jumla. Mimi nina familia kubwa. Meleta rambirambi kutokana na kifo cha Laurence Sifuna. Mimi bahati mbaya tumejuana na Sifuna kama ametoka siasa. So tulikuwa marafiki kama yeye ako nje wa siasa. Ni kwa sababu alikuwa memba wa ODM. Tulikuwa tunakutana na tunaongea tu kijuujuu. Wakati nilisikia amekufa na tulikuwa tumekutana na yeye miezi mitatu iliyopita, nilikuwa na huzuni mwingi. Nikaamua nije hapa niungane na nyinyi kuomboleza kifo chake. Mimi mtu ambaye nilileta kwa siasa ni Wamali wa kijana. Kijana alikuwa rafiki yangu wakati nilikuwa nafanya kule airport. Alikuwa anapitia kwa ofisi yangu kila siku. Huyo ndiye alileta kwa siasa, na wakati nilisimama kule Butere kuwa mjumbe mwaka wa 2002 nikachakuliwa kama mbunge wa Butere. Nilichakuliwa kwa chama cha Fort Kenya under NADCO wakati huo. Ingine sasa ni historia vile nilitembea kufika mahali niko. Hiyo ni historia ya siku nyingine. Lakini nimesikia wale viongozi ambao wamekuja hapa vile wamesema. Mheshimiwa Luke kasema tuje pamoja, sisi tuko pamoja. Sioni ule akokana usimame na serikali ndio uonekane huko pamoja. Wacha nimwambie, unajua mimi kama Oparanya nataka tuwe pamoja. Nikija hapa nipate factory ya Nzoia inafanya kazi. Watu wengi wetu hawana kazi kwa sababu Nzoia, Mumias hazifanyi kazi vile inatakikana. Na wakati wa siasa tulikuwa tunaambiwa hii factory ya Nzoia tukiingia serikali tutapata machine mpya. Sijui itakuja lini. Nataka siku ile itakuja wasike muje mnikaribishe nije hapa, nitakuwa hapa pia. Na tuongozi ambao you are full of yourself. You are obsessed with the leadership. Na umesahau hao watu ambao wako hapa ambao wamepata shida ndio walichukua wewe kuwa kwa hiyo kiti.
This holiday season, you, your family and your guests will be spoiled for joys.
Wakati huo alikuwa mbunge na akasema ako na harambee kule kwake. Nikatoa shilingi 10,000 siku hizo, nikamupa apeleke kwa harambee. Na wakati ilifika tukaongea, nikasema pia mimi naenda town. Akasema basi nipe lift twende town. Tulipofika town akasema tuna petrol station, nimewacha mtu fulani pale, nataka tumchukue. Huyo mtu tulimchukua, akiingia gari yangu na Wamalwa, kumbe huyo mjamaa alikuwa na shida ya matanga. Sasa alikuwa anatoka kule, Wamalwa alikuwa MP, na wakaongea, nikaona ile shilingi nilipeana ya harambee yote anatoa, anapeana kwa huyo. Sasa huyo aliposhuka, nikasema ni mheshimiwa, si ulikuwa unasema unaenda harambee? Na anasema lakini kitu muhimu si unaona ni matanga kuliko harambee. Isitoshe, wakati tulikuwa tunaenda, nikasema kari yako ilikuwa natufuata nyuma, iko wapi? Sioni. Akasema turudi, pengine wamepata mechanical problem. Turudi, hakuna mafuta. Ile ina mafuta na ile pesa alikuwa nayo hiyo yote huyo ndio alikuwa Wamalwa kijana. As a leader, you must have your people's interests first. That is very important. So tukiwa hapa, tunataka tuwe pamoja, lakini tuweke watu wetu pamoja. Mimi nimekuwa kwa siasa ya miaka 25. Pia mimi niko na experience yangu. Na sisi wa Marama tunasema ukitaka ile fish ile kubwa, mbuta, unaenda kutafuta mbuta kwa baharini kule Mombasa. Ukitaka omena usiokabe mumayabo. Ukitaka omena endo
Mumongea na yeye.
Unaujua vitimbwi hapo, tafuta hapo. Lakini sasa wewe unataka mbuta, unaenda kwa kitimbwi kutafuta mbuta, hapo utaipata?
Nijibu ndio, because
nyinyi Waluhya mnajitanganya, ni msilali, mnajitanganya kabisa. Don't be obsessed with leadership. Paka tukae. If you are a leader, why are you not consulting others within the community? You must consult everybody. If you have been given a responsibility, unafanya hiyo. Hiyo ndio kazi yako. Kuleta hapa watu pamoja. Hakuna leader yote ambaye yuko Kenya Kwanza government ambaye ameita mimi kama Oparanya kutoka Butere kuja tukae tuongee mambo yetu. Wako busy. Kini wanasema Waluhya tuko pamoja kwa sababu ya there. Hiyo na aibu kwa watu wetu. Tuweke kila mtu, hata huyu wa roots. Ndio huyu ako hapo wa roots. Wajaka we. Si ndio? Lakini wanasema wache matusi. Kwa hivyo, I am joining all of you who are come here to mourn a hero, and there are very few people who can do what Laurence did. We have multi-party in this country because of Laurence na wengine ambao wako hapo wakina Orengo na Professor na Raila Uhuru. Because what they stood for, they have made us to expand democracy in this country. Kwa mahali pema peponi, hiyo ndio njia ya kila mtu. Sasa nataka nikaribishe mgeni wetu wa heshima siku ya leo, Mheshimiwa the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, alete rambirambi zake.
Haya, jamii ya rafiki yetu Laurence Sifuna, His Highness the King ya Masara wote ambaye mmefika hapa, hamjambo. Mrembe sua, mrembe mia, mrembe te, mulimu huyu. Simekuja kwa sababu ya rafiki yetu Laurence Simiyu Sifuna. Huyu Laurence Simiyu Sifuna ni rafiki yangu, lakini nimekuja kwa sababu huyu Laurence Sifuna
I
ni
apologize. This
shujaa
is your
ya Kenya.
discharge paperwork, okay? So you
Ndio sababu nitaambia rafiki zetu zote, ningekuwa na safari ya kwenda ng'ambo, nikasema hapana, nitaahirisha mpaka niyo hapa siku ya leo. Lakini uzuri ya binadamu inajulikana tu Kiswahili ambaye ameenda hapo. Ndio sasa watu wanakuja kusema mambo mengi mazuri juu ya Laurence Sifuna. Mimi nimejua ya kwanza akiwa kwa bunge ukiwa na James Orengo. Huyo Orengo amesema hiyo experience yao, walikuwa naitwa the young the seven bearded sisters, na hao ndio walikuwa wanatoa jasho kwa bwana Njonjo. Njonjo alikuwa na wachukie sana hao watu. Hao ni vijana ambaye hawana adabu, hawana heshima kwa serikali. Baadaye tumekuja kuwa na Sifuna katika bunge ya 7 na bunge ya 8. Vile Orengo amesema, Sifuna ni yule one we can say a professional member of parliament. Yeye anauliza swali na swali kisajibiwa anafuata. Maana yake unajua, kwa bunge aitakana unauliza swali ambayo majibu yake hujui. You must know the answer to the question that you're asking. And Sifuna knew very well the answer to the questions he was asking. And he would follow up and follow up and follow up until the minister is caught. So Laurence Sifuna vilevile alikuwa ni shujaa, mtu ambaye alikuwa hana uoga yoyote. Waliingia kwa bunge wakati bunge bado ilikuwa iko na pembe na meno na makende. Walitimiza kabisa huko. Wakati hiyo walikuwa wanauliza maswali na wanafanya mambo mengi zaidi. Serikali ikitaka kufanya hii, wao wanasimama pale. Kaigwa Mwere, Abuya, James Orengo, Laurence Sifuna, Chibule Watisuma, Mashengo Machofi. Mimi ndio wajua hawa watu. Wakati huo wao ndio walikuwa katika mstari wa mbele kupigania haki ya wananchi wa Kenya. Lakini jamaa walipoona kama vijana wanachochea sana, wakaleta ile plies ile ya kufinya makende. Wakawa kitu ilikuwa inaitwa section, ile sheria ambayo ilifanya Kenya ikawa sasa ni lazima inakuwa ni chama kimoja peke yake, a single party dictatorship. Ililetwa hiyo sheria 1982 kwa sababu ya hao watu, na wakaanza watu waenda kushikwa. Chelagat Mutai akatimuliwa, akatoroka, akaenda kule Tanzania. Orengo akashikwa na akatoroka na kadhalika. Lakini Wakenya walipigania haki, na hii tunasema ya kwamba the struggle for democratization of Kenya, there have been two forces pulling the opposite directions. The forces reform and the forces of retention of the status quo wamekuwa wakimenyana. Wale ambao walikuwa wanataka kuleta mabadiliko, wale ambao walitaka mambo yabaki yale yale. Wale ambao walikuwa wanataka utawala ile mzungu ichukuliwe na Waafrika ambao wameingia wazungu weusi na kunyanyasa wenzao. Hiyo ndio unaweza kuangalia uone mahali ambapo yamefanyika maovu wengi. Kuwawa kwa Pio Gama Pinto, Tom Mboya, Jem Kariuki, hata Robert huko. Na umeona vile watu wengine walikuwa wanapigania dhidi haya. Mmoja wao ni Masinde Muliro. Huyu Masinde Muliro nimejua kama mimi ni mtoko mdogo. Yeye alikuwa rafiki ya Jaramogi kamili katika bunge. Jaramogi alikuwa anaita yeye fire. Na Muliro ni mmoja wa wale walipigania kabisa haki ya Wakenya dhidi ya utawala wa ukoloni. Na Muliro haogopi. Wakati sisi tulikuwa tunataka kuunda chama mpya, baada hiyo section 2 ya kukaa kwa muda mrefu zaidi, tukakaa pamoja, tulikuwa tunaita the Young Turks. Orengo yuko hapa, Anyang' yuko hapa, Mwiti hayuko. Tukaketi chini na tukasema tuunde chama. Tukasema tulete wazee waje. Wale wazee tulileta kule Jaramogi, Muliro, Shikuku, yule alikuwa anaitwa Ndenge, Bamari na kadhalika. Lakini Muliro tulikari na statement ya Ford, original Ford. Tukasomea yeye ya kwanza, akatuambia sisi hiyo sitaki hiyo haiko sawa sawa. Tukasema hii ni sawa sawa. Asema Raila, wewe umefungwa jela miaka 3, sitaki urudi tena miaka 4. Hii statement hasitaki tuendelee naye. Tukaunganisha ingine, tukatengeneza, baadaye tukaleta ito somea Muliro. Orengo amesoma, akasema chama inaitwa Ford. Akasema hiyo I'll buy any day. Even right now I'm driving a Ford car. Tukani Masinde Muliro. Na kutoka hapo sasa tukatoka na Muliro akasema tutaenda hata chochote kifanyika tutaenda. Tutaenda mbele na Muliro Ford. Baadaye kukaja ile mambo bila mnajua yote ile historia, kukaja Ford asili na Ford Kenya. Lakini Masinde Muliro alisimama ni kutetea haki ya wananchi. Imeandikwa in the Commonwealth tradition and system, the work of parliament is representation, legislation and oversight. Sasa yani bunge inatakikana hiyo ni inaangalia kazi ya serikali kuu. Lakini kama bunge inafanya kazi ya serikali kuu, sasa nani ataoversight bunge? Sasa kama bunge yenyewe imefinya mateke, manake sasa kama serikali kuu imeleta sheria, bunge itetee haki ya wananchi. Sheria kama sheria ya fedha ambayo juzi walipileta katika bunge, nitakana bunge ipinge. Lakini kama wabunge wenyewe wanaenda pale wanapiga kura kwa ile sheria ambayo ni mbaya, ambayo inafinya wananchi wenyewe, nani atatetea wananchi? Kwa upande mwingine wanasema wanataka kuuza mashirika ya serikali, KPA, ati NOC, ati hizi Mumias, Nzoia na kadhalika. na bunge wenyewe tayari wamesema sheria moja maleta ati bunge isikague kazi ya serikali, na wabunge wenyewe wanapitisha hiyo sheria ati sasa hiyo serikali inaweza kuuza shirika yoyote bila kuleta hiyo mambo kwa bunge tena. Because gani? Wao wenyewe wamejifinya makende yao. Makende wamefinya makende yao wao wenyewe. Ni bunge hanisi, haina chochote. Upande mwingine Orengo amesema hapa ati Bwana Marende ni one of the best speakers that we have had in this country. Because Marende followed the law to the letter. Wakati mwingine mimi na Kibaki tulikuwa tunavutana, Marende akatoa uamuzi wa kweli ya sheria. Sasa kama natakana kama sheria imeleta mbele ya bunge, kwamba wabunge wapewe ya kujadili mambo hiyo. A member can talk on a bill for 2 days. And Shikuku sometimes used to talk for 2 days. These days they bring 2 bills in one afternoon. And they say they must pass all the stages within that one afternoon. Members are told, the speaker has now ruled that a member will go to have only 5 minutes. 5 minutes unaweza kufanya kazi gani? Hakuna chochote. Na hizo bill zote zinapita, wapende usipende. Yani iko pale. Sasa Moses Wetangula ni rafiki yangu. Mimi ndio nilitoa yeye kwa KANU. Walikuwa ni watu wa Nyayo. Mimi ndio nilitoa yeye pande hii. Wakati tulikuwa kwa Ford walikuwa kwa KANU. Sasa yeye amekuwa speaker. Kisheria ya House of Commons, speaker must be somebody who is neutral. A speaker must be non-partisan. You cannot be a speaker if you remain a member or a leader of the Conservative Party or Labour Party. Huwezi. Mpaka ujizulu cheo chako ya kichama ndio wewe unaweza kuwa neutral speaker. My friend Governor sema yeye ni deputy leader for Kenya. Kiongozi wa Kenya ni nani? Kiongozi wa Kenya ni nani? Na taifa wa Kenya na speaker wa taifa wa Kenya ni nani? Hiyo nataka hiyo swali umuulize yeye. If you want to be a true speaker, you must resign from being a leader for Kenya. And then you can be a neutral speaker. Can be able to preside over deliberations of Parliament in a neutral way. And then also allow members of Parliament to debate and exhaust the debate on a particular issue. Wakati hii sheria zote ambazo zinakuja kutoka kwa ikulu zinapita. Sheria zote zinatoka kwa ikulu zinapita. Kwa hivyo Kenya wako katika hali ya hatari. Kenya yuko katika mbaya zaidi. Mtu akisema mimi I'm unstoppable, hakuna mtu anaweza kunistopisha. Ni nani? Nyayo walisema yeye alikuwa ni unstoppable, tulimstopisha. Tulimstopisha Nyayo. Kama tuliweza kumstopisha Nyayo, wewe ni nini? Wakenya watakustopisha. Kenyans will stop you. Kenyans have a right to stop you. Kenya cannot be ruled in a manner that is not prescribed in our constitution. Wakenya walipigania hii katiba mpya. Hii katiba mpya ndio kinga ya Wakenya. Mtu asikuja kundanganya wewe mimi ni ndugu yako. Mimi ni kabila yako. Ndugu wa tumbo moja, hapana. Kitu muhimu zaidi ambayo itatetea wewe ni katiba. Na wakianza kujaribu kubadilisha katiba hapa na pale, ndivyo ilifanyika baada ya uhuru. Ndio tukaenda katika ile shimo kubwa zaidi. Tutaki kurudi huko tena. Kwa hivyo tumesema mtu yeyote ambaye anataka kufanya vile sisi hatutaki kama Wakenya, tutakataa. tayari yangu huyo Sifuna angekataa na mimi nasema sasa ili Sifuna aende alale kule vizuri pamoja na Martin Shikuku, Mashinde Muliro, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Elie Masinde Wanameme, aende vizuri.
Yes, Mr. Jakes.
Okay, I think it's a summary of what Raila Odinga has tried to raise. We will be recapping all he has said in our evening show. Don't miss the have that and more stories that made headlines. But just to summarize, Mr. G, what do you make of what Raila Odinga is saying? He's saying that the president can be stopped. We'll be dwelling deeper into that, but he's telling the president, usijifeel kana kwamba hawezi simamishwa. The president said that when the house levy must go on. And Raila Odinga is now telling you know what? Usidhani huwezi simamishwa. You cannot live and operate above the law. Kenyans can stop you. Do you think Raila Odinga has a point?
Yeah, he has a point on what he's trying to tell us. I think there's a time that Wetangula had a function at is it really? And when he was in Wiredi, this Wetangula guy, he insulted so much Baba. Alimuinsult sana. So listen to what Baba has been talking about. Mostly he was trying to inform Wetangula that Wetangula is an incompetent person. As a speaker, I've seen him telling him that he need to be a neutral person. Mtu ambaye asiwe bias, but looking on what Wetangula has been doing, amekuwa bias sana na amekuwa mlalia serikali sana. So Baba has been telling him what he's supposed to be told. But another thing, on the statement that Baba has given out, Baba is speaking as a person who knows what people are passing through. And listening to his history ya kitambo, unapata kuwa it is as if people were really suffering, and it was suffering, the real one, the real suffering. And now when you compare what was happening by then and being one of the people who came and delivered Kenya from that torture that people were passing through, I think at this moment, Baba should not go to work with these people who are trying to bring us back to those days that we were. Because this regime ambayo iko sahihi ni regime ambayo inaturudisha where we were. Wakati tulikuwa tuwezi ongea anything, wakati tulikuwa tuwezi sema kitu, ukisema kitu unasimama unafinywa. I don't want to use those words that Baba always used. I think even the advisors of Baba should tell Baba, when he is in the function, kama hii function ya matanga hii, he should not speak those words anatumia sijati makende. Those words, they're not good kwa function kama hii. So I don't want to use those words. But what I'm trying to say ni kuwa, at this time now, with the statement that he's giving it out, I think as just the way Nani amesema, the way Alex said, Baba should not let us down by going and working with these people. Baba should come out of these people and have a stand fighting for his people, stand with his people. Kama watu wanaleta torture, tuachane nao. Tusimame na watu ambao wanaumia, watu ambao wanasema kuwa this government inatufrustrate. But when Baba comes out and anaanza kudefend that report, alafu with this statement ambayo anaongea sahi, unajua inakuwa ni kama contradicting stories. Kwa sababu the other thing ni kama anakubaliana na what was supposed to be done on a report. Na kwa sahibi anaongea kama mtu ambao he's not even part of that thing. Ni kama hata hausiani na hii government. In fact anaongea kumaanisha kuwa the government has failed, and those people ambao kwa government in fact they are incompetent. This is what he's trying to tell us here. Kwa these people ni kama hawajui kitu ambao anafanya. Kwa sababu alikuwa anaongea kusema kuwa kwa parliament the government imefinya watu. Hadi imefinya MPs hakuna kitu anaweza fanya. In fact MPs wanaforcewa kupitisha anything, mswada wote ambao inaleta kwa floor, it has to pass. And remember Ruto alituambia kuwa hata court iweze mzuia kwa anything ambayo ameamua kufanya, hata court haitamzuia. And Baba is telling him now, the people can stop you. Yeah, the people can stop Ruto, but Baba should come and work with these people who can stop Ruto. Kwa sababu like now akisema people can stop Ruto, alafu yeye asema anaenda kufanya naye kazi, who will be on the side of people? Who will fight for these people? Who will fight with these people to stop these people? This impunity hapo inaendelea. So I think Baba should come out clear. Achana nao wakora, he come and stand with the people. Back to you, Mr. Jakes.
Thank you. Now, let me ask you, is it that Raila Odinga is biting and blowing in that some say he's working with the government, he seems to be working with the government, but on another side, he seems not to be working with the government, seems to oppose the government, seem to really vehemently oppose it in the sense that he's not agreeing with some of the actions the government is doing. Now, from where you sit, is he really biting and blowing? You know that uh, one character of a rat, panya huuma na kupuliza. So inauma kukula, inapuliza ili kama ni wewe inakula usisikie uchungu. So is he biting and blowing?
That is what he's trying to bring out, and that is why we are telling him he need to come out straight na tuambie position yake ni gani. Yeah, he need just to come out and tell us his position. Akisimama na watu asimame na watu. He should not work with the government alafu on the other side anawaka na watu wakisema kuwa anapinga this government. This government is a government that yeye mwenyewe ndiye alituambia kuwa ilimwibia. And for us listening to him and looking at what the situation, how the situation was, tuliona kuwa kulikuwa na something wrong with it. Now for Baba to start coming out kama ana defend the government, mara anakuja kama defend the government, inakuwa ni picha mbaya. You just stand up na tuambie this thing is wrong and we are going this way. We are not working with these people kwa sababu ya this thing, this 1 2 3 4 things about zina happen ambao si vitu mzuri. But akiendelea kuonekana ni kama hajulikani amesimama wapi, inakuwa ni picha mbaya. But there's something that I wanted to tell you, Jakes, which is not on this topic. I think I wanted to speak by that time we had some discussion with Alex on the report that came out, this bipartisan report. On my side, you know, Jakes, there's some few points that nimepata kwa hiyo report ambayo imeonyesha clear kuwa for sure as Azimio mtu kama Kalonzo amecome out kuwa a weak leader on our side. In case tuseme Kalonzo ndo our presidential leader, tunaweza pitia hali ngumu sana wakati atakuwa kama president, kwa sababu is somebody that is able to be carried away easily. On this report is a report ambayo imekataliwa na a lot of people, majority of people walikuwa wamekataa this report, but Kalonzo comes out alafu ana sign the report. Inaonyesha picha kuwa this leader is not a strong leader, he's a weak leader. So when he becomes our presidential leader, I think hapo tutaumia sana because he's a person ambaye simama na his stand. I expected him.
Kalonzo, let me ask you, and I like what you have brought. Some may say some guys would come out and argue that somehow he has costed Baba the presidency in some ways. Take for instance, in 2007 they were together. Then kidogo amemruka na ameenda akaanza ODM Kenya, and he stands and vies as a president. He gains around 800,000 thereabout, but Raila Odinga, that's almost the margin that he loses with from the winner who was Kibaki then, as much as it was mad with a lot of controversy that win. Then fast forward, in one time he says, especially in 2002, he will be the most stupid person to support Raila Odinga for the third time. So it was almost out there that he was not vying, or rather he was not supporting Raila Odinga. He begins his own party, or rather he begins his own team, what they called, is it Oka?
Yeah, it was Oka.
It was Oka, One Kenya something, I'm forgetting the name. With Oka, he has the likes of Kinamsali, Aweta, and they work very hard. They win the Machako Senate. They win the Kabuchai and Matungu by elections then. So that momentum made them feel as though they are a very formidable force. Team, creating team, they now begin to negotiate. You know, they were negotiating from that level of Oka. Martha Karua eventually joins them. So and then kukakuwa na issue ya kujoin Azimio. Martha Karua na join Azimio, others wakajoin Kenya Kwanza, so he was still left out as Oka. So as Oka akabaki na Gideon Moi and this guy Jirongo. So Oka became a Kafani faction. And then with time, kukakuwa na issue ya running mate. Now the running mate question became interesting. One, the first thing he said, he will not go for any interview. In fact, he even asked people, someone of my stature, a senior counsel, someone who has run twice as a running mate, why do I need an interview? You remember how he bastardized that process of being a running mate, right? And then after all that hullabaloo and all, we see him we see him going for the interview. Now that is not enough. So we anticipated that since he has gone for the interview, he will accept the outcome. Just like normally when you go for an interview, you accept the outcome, whether you get the job or you don't. You accept the outcome because the interviewers, they had something they were looking for, So probably there is something that really he didn't meet, or there is there is something more to what the committee and Raila Odinga was looking for. So here comes the big day. While Raila Odinga was busy mentioning his running mate, well, we had that Karua moment where we have that Martha effect moment where we are having that moment where we're saying, finally, a woman will be a running mate, will be probably Kenya's first deputy president. Finally, probably we felt that that was the moment. Kalonzo Musyoka was busy elsewhere the same day, launching his own running mate. I think it was Julia something. Julia something. I'm forgetting the name, but a Maasai. But now he was launching he equally is himself brought also a DP or a running mate. Now, Pundit would have it that that act alone spoke volume. That act alone really spoke volume because he cited that he didn't agree with the choice of Raila Odinga. Fast forward to several weeks later, we see him during those NDCs eventually happening. I don't think even hii story yake ya kuwa run presidential candidate ilienda for long, it didn't go for long. Now we see him at Jacaranda, right? Where Jubilee had NDC final weeks, final moments to the election. We see him coming out and say, for the third time, kwa roho safi ninasema Raila tosha. For the third time, kwa roho safi. The crowd really didn't know what this man was to say. Of course, we had seen him in Jubilee PG, we had seen him in other functions, and we were almost sure he would endorse Raila's candidacy. So when he came to Jacaranda, because of the hype of the crowd, he had to calm them down and tell them, you know what, Adao, for the third time, kwa roho safi. Nasema Raila tosha. So he's the one man who would many would describe him. He had that nickname of watermelon. He was not decisive. One moment he's saying this, the next moment he's saying this. Now here is a report he has worked on, the NADCO report. Now this NADCO report, he has been praised to be someone who has brought some countries at war to peace. He has been crafted as the chief mediator. Now here is a man, despite all that accolade, he's being described as a person who has brought something that one has already divided the country, even his own team. We have the likes of Karua saying, you know what, this is not what we really wanted. This was not what we negotiated for. These were not the reasons we went to protest. Now, him seems to agree with the report. Of course, it is work. Kazi yake, no one can deny his work. But from all that I've narrated, what do you make the kind of character Kalonzo is? And if it was him to be endorsed by Raila Odinga or anyone else to be the running mate, or rather the running candidate in 2027, one, would people buy his candidacy. Would he make a decisive leader? Would people believe him when he says he's a yes man? He's truly a yes man. When he's taking a certain direction, people will believe him. All people still view him as someone who can be swayed any direction. He has no clear standing. Today he's Mr. A, tomorrow is Mr. B. Today he's color red, and of course tomorrow turns green. Of course, depicable chameleon as we have come to call him. But the supporters of Raila Odinga, the supporters of many who ascribe to ODM, to Azimio, right? If Raila Odinga today was to endorse Kalonzo Musyoka, from where you sit, what would it mean to you as an Azimionite and to you as a staunch Baba follower? What would it mean to you? Would you buy it? Would you follow him? And would he receive the following, the huge cosmic following that Baba enjoys? Would it really be something that follows him with time? What do you think?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jakes. You know, listen to
Mm,
the story of given the narrative of the events that took place by that time until the time he came out and said that and I endorsed Baba kwa roho safi. You know, he
mhm.
comes out as a man who did not know what he wanted in life. In fact, he
Okay.
had no strong something to stand for. But now let
Mm,
me come to the question that you have asked. You know, let me start with this with the Baba. Baba is a man who has a strong support. He has an organic support from people. And you know, when Baba says that something may happen, maybe he's saying that we take Kalonzo as our presidential candidate. I know that some supporters of Baba will buy into that idea and
mm,
they will
mhm.
support Kalonzo because of what Baba has said. But I can tell you, with the events that took place and what has happened in this report, like kama mimi sasa, I'm a supporter of Baba, but I'm not buying into that idea when Baba stand up alafu aseme kuwa we support Kalonzo as a president, kwa sababu Kalonzo is somebody who cannot be a strong man to stand to a point with a point,
Mhm.
and he's a man that he's easily convinced by people. Kama hii report ambayo imetokezea juzi, those are the points that UDA came with. Most of them, they are just reports that came with UDA. So that shows that he was convinced with these people of UDA, and yet we are being told that these guys walikuwa wana frustrate the cause. The guys from UDA side, they were frustrating the cause. But now, as long as they were on that table, I believe that maybe at least Kalonzo na timu yake wangejitokeza wakasema, as much as we are crying that the people are frustrating this cause, let's leave this thing alone. But kumbuka, the people have been frustrated, the cause have been frustrated, but still ameketi pale akakubaliana nao mpaka akasign that cause. This shows that this is not a strong man, but a weak, and he need to
Mhm.
work on his style of politics. Because I don't think akiwa president tutafaulu, hatuwezi faulu naye. Yeah, he's somebody ambaye bado he's not strong enough for that presidential
Okay.
seat. Yeah, na bado hajakuwa qualified. I think he need to work on his style so much, na baba anafaa
Mhm.
amsaidie sana. Although pia
Mhm.
baba, I still stand against that report. Baba
Mhm.
aachane na hiyo story, arudi kando, asimame na watu. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. This is Afric 24. Kindly consider to subscribe to Afric 24. Here we keep it locked. Here we keep unlocking the African story. We keep discussing matters as they arise. Of course, as I've always told you, here we don't ascribe to any political inclination or any government form of inclination. We are independent in the sense that we allow you to really speak it as it is. We allow you to really be as impartial as you can. You're allowed to be an Azimio affiliate, allowed to be a KK affiliate, and also as well allowed to be independent, but you are allowed as well to allow others have their view and have their say. Here we really encourage democracy where the majority will have their way, of course, but minority here must equally have their say. Here it's not about KK, it's not about Azimio, it's not about Uhuru this, Ruto that, or of course Raila that way. Here we speak matters as they are, so kindly consider subscribing to Afric 24. Here we do many things, so kindly subscribe. We have great shows coming your way, including such shows that happen spontaneously, yeah, as issues happen. Thank you so much. We were looking at the newspaper today. We had a nice conversation with my panelists. We had actually some guests coming in. Thank you very, very, very much. Akina Alex, Akina Kenya Rebel, Mr. G, Mr. Kamau, Mr. Leo, and many who joined us. Asante sana. You who sent in your message, we are just but appreciative. Asante, asante tu sana. I thank you as well, those who are watching us live on all our platforms. I see you watching us on True TV, Kenya Digital News, Africa 24, YouTube, Africa 24, Facebook, Mtembei TV, Nico Thiambo, Leo TV, YouTube, and equally Leo Facebook. Thank you so much, our partners, for making this happen. We are so grateful. Now, if you have been struggling to look for a channel that speaks such content, I can tell you for free, your search for such a channel has come to an end now. By subscribing to us, we assure you that we shall grant you and we shall deliver to you such content, such in-depth analysis on matters affecting our country in as far as politics is concerned and many other social issues. So thank you very much for choosing Africa 24. Here we assure you that we shall totally give you finest. We shall give you the very, very best. We shall deliver to you the very best of such content. So subscribe to our channel. Make this your number one media channel in as far as such content is concerned. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. G, even as we wrap up, I wish to ask you to tell us what do you make of what is happening with what do you call this person, with Martha Karua, Raila Odinga, and Jeremiah Kioni. We haven't seen them together for quite some time now. What could be happening?
I think it's just because of this issue of the report. You know, there's a crack in Azimio. These guys, Martha Karua and Kioni, although Kioni was also on that team that was in Bomas, but these guys, I think they did not buy into what was brought out on this report. They are against the report. So kasabia hiyo, I think they have been forcing Baba. Okay, kina Kioni and Martha Karua, it is like they are coming closer to people, to mwananchi wa chini sana, and they are listening to them more sana kuliko vene other leaders are listening to them. Because ukipata kama in Central Kenya, there's an outcry kuwa they want maandamano, wamekasirika, wameumizwa na this government. Their business are not working, things are not working, kuna njaa, hakuna pesa mfukoni, walidanganywa. So they have come out to the reality kuwa it was a lie, walichezewa akili, wakadanganywa. So they want somebody to fight for them. That's why umeona kwa media kila wakati they are calling for somebody to come out, wanaitisha maandamano, nasema next month lazima tuwe na maandamano, next month lazima tuwe na maandamano. So by that outcry, kina Kioni and Martha Karua ni kama wameanza kuwasikiza sana, and because of hiyo kuwasikiza, they are forcing team ya Azimio, they are telling Baba wananchi wamechoka, wanataka maandamano. But on the side of Baba, I think Baba ni kama hataki maandamano. You see, Baba ni kama anawaambia nyinyi hapa watakuwa nasema kuwa tukitisha maandamano tunaharibu biashara, tukitisha maandamano sisi tunaharibu nini. So sasa hivi sitaki maandamano, but this it is as if they want maandamano. Sasa kumekuwa na some disconnect kiasi pale katikati. Ndio unaona ni kama hawakai pamoja sana, cause ni kama wanataka some things to happen, but Baba ni kama hataki those things to happen at the moment. But before I conclude on that issue, there's something that I wanted to speak about. You know, mostly on this issue of bipartisan talk kukubaliana na government, I think Baba, it is as if ni kama kuwa he doesn't learn from the mistake he made. He makes every mistake that he makes, sometimes he doesn't learn from that mistakes. You know, when Baba came on the handshake with Uhuru, okay, it was a good thing. But for me, I wanted Baba to come for that handshake, lakini apatiane Uhuru time na hiyo nafasi ya kufanya kazi, yeye abaki kama opposition, asiingizwe kwa government mpaka kwa pia he's among those people who are in government. But alijisahau mpaka akasukumwa ikawa pia yeye he's part of that government. Now because of being part of that government, angalia when things unfolded, zile shida zote ambazo zilikuwa za Jubilee ziliwekelewa yeye. Sasa ikawa yeye ndio pia shida, that part of that problem, it was him. Now there's again a problem in this UDA team government, UDA regime. And remember, it's as if he's trying to work with this government. The moment ataingiza tu mkono asema ana work with this government, again zile shida zote ambazo zimeface this UDA zitamwekelewa yeye, na atakuwa he's the one to be blamed. He was blamed because of Jubilee, and now he'll be blamed because of UDA. He should come out and learn a lesson that this thing doesn't work that way. Yeah, ache kama anataka kufanya kazi na UDA, basi achana na UDA wafanye kazi yao, but a step back, achane nao, asijihusishe sana nao. To conclude on what you said on Martha Karua and Kalonzo and Kina Raila, I think that crack should be destroyed, should be removed. Hii timu ya Azimio inafaa ibaki a strong team for them to succeed. Kwa sababu kwa sahi, most of people hawataki story ya UDA. Wamegundua UDA ni wanasiasa wale ambao wako na stories za jaba. So mostly, a common mwananchi hataki kujihusisha na this group. Hataki kujihusisha na mtu ambaye anamfightia. And somebody who can fight for this group, for my common mwananchi, mostly imekuwa ni kama Azimio. So baba achana na hii story mingi ambayo anafanya, ashikane na kina Martha Karua, ashikane na the whole team of Azimio, wafaitie mwananchi wa chini, they will succeed. But kukiwa na hii rankles ambazo zinaendelea, these cracks ambazo zinaendelea, tutajipata 2027 hakuna kitu tumefanya, na tutajipata kwa ile shida ambayo tulikuwa tena. Kwa sababu there's a lot of things that Azimio need to do if they want to take this power from this man. Huyu jamaa anakaa hivyo, lakini anajua kitu anafanya. Huyu mtu ambaye amejipanga vizuri, anajua kitu amefanya, and Azimio should sit down na wajipange proper for them to take power from this person. Baba ametuambia sasa kuwa people can stop Ruto. Ruto amesema hakuna mtu anaweza kumstop. Baba ametuambia people can stop Ruto. Yes, people can stop Ruto, but Baba should have a great strategy to work with to stop Ruto. Kama si hivyo, Ruto hatakuwa rais kutolewa pale. Back to Mr. James.
Now, I want to have your sentiments on what Otiende Amolo gave us his reaction to the report in Parliament the other day. He really deconstructed the report. He really gave an opinion, or rather his arguments really threw Kalonzo's, despite him being a senior counsel, he threw mud to his work, and he really was the man of the match in as far as this report was concerned. Let's listen into what Otiende Amolo said. Sorry, viewers, I this one I ought to have played it earlier, but now that I've remembered, allow me to play it even.
Including on our own side. Now, in the absence of a leader of minority, let me take that role. Mr. Speaker, for starters, I'd like to
be careful about taking people's positions.
You know, this is, as you know, as a lawyer, I'm holding brief. Very briefly, I'm holding brief. Mr. Speaker, let me issue two cautionary statements. First, of the 4 issues that have been raised in the President's memorandum, 3 issues would expressly require referendum. Only one relating to the funds, especially CDF funds and the oversight fund, would not require referendum under Article 255(3). Insofar as the issues on composition of parliament in terms of gender, the issues in introducing CSS to the floor, the issue of introducing a leader of opposition, there are issues that touch on the sovereignty of the people, they touch on the structure of governance and the system of government, they touch on the functions and composition of parliament, and expressly they would require referendum. So as we discuss this, we need to bear that in mind very clearly. It's not an easy path. And the question I want to issue secondly, Mr. Speaker, is that as members of parliament, it is good to look for the interest of many people. But of paramount importance is the interest of our own citizens, of our own voters, who are the beneficiaries of these funds. I'd like it to be made clear, and honorable member said that so far the CDF funds are unconstitutional. That is not true. CDF funds are constitutional, and there is no court anywhere so far that has found the 2015 Act unconstitutional. What we are doing is we want to entrench the provision such that we cater for much more. Our sisters who are representing the counties have the NGAF. NGAF has not been properly included. We want to include the NGAF, we want to include the other funds that Senate oversight, so that we call them the oversight funds. That's why we are amending the Constitution. Let it not be supposed that we are amending it because we think that it's unconstitutional. We will be shooting ourselves in the leg. And for our own purposes, I would really urge members that we need to remove that bit of the memorandum that deals with the CDF funds and the oversight funds because we were already on it. And let's use it because as part of the ad hoc committee, we have already designed, we've gone much further than this memorandum. We have already drafted the amendments that are necessary to the Constitution and which do not require referendum. Let us move with speed, run with that, and leave these other issues that might raise partisan politics outside first. Let us take care of our interest before we take care of other interests. And if you don't heed my caution, watch this space. If you maintain this oversight fund together with these other three issues, they will be lost in space and the consequences will be quite dire because we are racing against time. Specifically, Mr. Speaker, the idea of amending the Constitution is not a bad one. Our Constitution is ripe for amendment. 12 years after any Constitution is enacted, it is good for citizens to sit together and look at what is bad, what is good. But amendment of any Constitution should be bipartisan. It should always involve the public, not just bipartisan in Parliament. It is beyond Parliament. All previous attempts to amend the Constitution by President Moi then and thereafter by President Kibaki failed because the initiation was not bipartisan. I want to caution that this initiative, insofar as it's not bipartisan, it is the wrong way to look at amendment to the Constitution. We require a bipartisan approach. And I want to tell my brothers and my colleagues in the Justice Committee, right from the word go, this initiative will fail on two accounts. The first is the account on which BBI failed. And it's not saying that I agree with the Supreme Court. I actually don't. But they pronounce themselves. And that is as it is now. Insofar as this initiative is expressly by the President, and this memorandum starts by actually paragraph 1 and 2 restating the date when the President said it, and then attaching a copy of the President memorandum, it will fall afoul the determination of the Supreme Court in terms of initiation. It makes no difference that that was a popular initiative, because even here, the argument will be, but if it is a parliamentary initiative, the President is not a member of Parliament. So how will you say it's a parliamentary initiative and it is initiated by someone outside Parliament? And in both cases, whether it's popular or parliamentary, it passes through Parliament. The second mistake was the President writing to the Speaker. The Speaker is a neutral entity in this House. The person to initiate would be the leader of majority, the leader of minority, or an individual member. But expressly, the leader of majority now introduces the motion, but the motion is reading that it was written to the Speaker. So there are already two technicalities that makes this initiative run afoul of the law. Let me examine two things now. One, the idea of the leader of opposition. Mr. Speaker, this is a bad idea. It is an idea that is not well-founded, either in terms of constitutionalism or in terms of purpose. And it does not take cognizance of Article 108 and Article 130. Let's be clear, Mr. Speaker. In this House, there is no government, there is no opposition, as per the Constitution. If you look at Article 130, national government comprises the President, the Deputy, and the Cabinet, not the leader of majority, not any of you here in Parliament. And when we come here as minority, we don't come here as opposition, we come as minority. The word opposition does not appear anywhere in the text of the Constitution. So how can you introduce a leader of an non-existent entity? Honorable Wanyonyi, I'm telling you now, I'm helping you understand the law, so just listen. That idea is precipitated on a misinformation and misunderstanding that those who are in the majority are here on behalf of the executive, and those in the minority are here on behalf of the opposition. That is not so. In fact, the whole idea of this presidential system is that we, as a parliament, check on the executive as a collectivity. The moment you start trying to bring the leader of opposition, you run into many problems. The first problem is you can actually have a parliament where the majority has not produced the presidency. Can you imagine a situation where if we had maintained what we believe is ours, Azimio is the majority in this house, and Kenya Kwanza is the minority. Can you imagine a situation where then Azimio would have the presidency, then you get another person who is in Azimio to come be the leader of Kenya Kwanza in parliament? Isn't that ridiculous? It is based on the assumption that whoever produces a majority in parliament will always be the president. It is not so. Secondly, if you look at 108, there's the leader of majority, there's the leader of minority. So I suppose you then remove the leader of minority and replace it with the leader of opposition. And what do you do with the leader of majority? Do you still call them or her leader of majority? You'll call them leader of government business, and there's no government in parliament. But what if the person who's run up is actually an independent? Because the constitution allows. So you run as an independent, and then you get the second highest votes. Then now you come to parliament to head a party which you are not part of. It is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Let us rethink this thing seriously. The question of having a leader of opposition because we want accommodation is a question we must examine deeply and not artificially. If we want a parliamentary system, let us be honest and adopt that system. I will tell you that in the committee of experts, we had actually adopted a parliamentary system, but it was changed by our colleagues in parliament then. I'll move very fast, Mr. Speaker, just 2 minutes. The question of cabinet secretaries in parliament, they will be strangers. The president is not a stranger because he's allowed. The head of treasury comes here as of necessity because we are the budget making. But the cabinet secretary does not come to the floor of this house. The cabinet secretary stays at the bar. So if you want cabinet secretaries on the floor of this house, then you must admit them as members of parliament. That changes the numbers, that changes the functions. And is it a good thing? No. First, because you will definitely weaken the committee system. Our constitution gives committees so many powers, the powers of the High Court, which have never been used. Why haven't we used them? If we can't use them as 15 or 20 people sitting and we have the power, what is the assurance that as over 349 we will use them? And Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, mark you that when you do that, something else comes into play. There's a reason why there's a prescription in composition of committees. Those of the majority always have a majority of one. But in the oversight committees, those in the minority have a majority of one. So that in the oversight committees, we can better check the national executive. If we come here with the numbers the way now playing, there will be no oversight. The oversight committees will be dead. Parliament as a plenary will be doing put the question. And the question will be put and the CSS will go. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, lastly, that we might think we are strengthening parliamentary democracy, weakening it. And we must be very careful, including on the question of numbers. You must know that the question of numbers in terms of gender representation goes against the contrary question of the cost. Are Kenyans prepared to pay 100 more members of parliament or not? I think the fundamental question we must ask ourselves, do we still need 2 houses of parliament today? If you ask me that, I would say no. Thank you so much, because we have entrenched devolution sufficiently. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, well said. I hope you get a chance to.
Wow, he's asking very awesome questions. He's raising very serious arguments, and we will be tackling that more in our subsequent bulletin. But just from your take, what do you make of what Otieno Amolo is raising in as far as the report is concerned, and his interpretation to the constitution? It's really well polished. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he has come out well, and is a guy and I believe in constitution. And listening to what he was talking, like the last part of it, talking about, do we really need these people? The two arm of government, do you need these people ambao wako kama extra, ambao wameleta extra cost the life of mwananchi wa chini? You find that Otieno Amolo is somebody who has read law. He knows what law is. He knows what the government should be done, how the government should be run. But now, the problem is that he was also among those people. At the first, at the first team from Azimio, that went and had some talks, although the talks will go Mwamba and he left. But listening to him and what he believed in, Otiende Amolo is somebody who is smart. Yeah. Mute Sikuski. You are muted, Sikuski. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. He's a person who is so smart and he knows what is supposed to be done. But if you compare with this report is something that is bringing in more people that we don't need at the moment. Is it bringing more extra cost to mwananchi wa chini that we don't need? Like now, you the seat of majority of opposition leader itakuja na watu wengine kando, haikuja na mtu mmoja peke yake. Tutakuwa na two deputies, tutakuwa na watu wengine ambao watakuwa pale, which is just an additional cost to mwananchi wa chini, and taxes itaendelea tu kuumiza wananchi wa chini. So I think he's passing out an information ambao watu wanafaa waichukulie vizuri, but sasa kulinganisha yeye na what happened to that report, I think those people who on the report hawakuangalia deeply in what should be done. Walikuwa na haraka. That's why I told you that I think having Kalonzo as our presidential leader is a weak person. He's a person who can be convinced easily na kitu ambacho haikuja kusaidia wananchi wa chini na akakubaliana nayo. That is yani picha ambayo imejitokeza wazi. This guy is not strong. But there's one thing that nilikuwa nataka kuuliza before we close the show, Mr. Jex. You brought in Otiende Amolo. There's a clip that I listened to somebody called Gumo. I think you know Gumo. I think it was just this week, yeah, when he came out accusing this guy, accusing Mr. Otiende Amolo, who is just one guy that, yeah, he's not performing, he's not developing this area. In fact, he's just a drunkard man walking around with bleached girls, kila wakati. So I didn't know, I don't know if true those allegations are ukweli, ama just because of siasa anajaribu kumchafulia, because as much as I know, Otiende Amolo is a guy ambao amekuwa mtu ambaye ako upright, amekuwa sober most of the time. Sijamuona akiwa mtu ambaye hajielewi vile vile Guma alikuwa anajaribu kuportray that picture, because he portrayed a picture like a person who is sabotaging the development that was brought in earlier before yeye akuwe kama parliament. Because Guma was saying that there's a lot of development that alikuwa ameleta pale kwa hiyo position, but now nani amekuja, Otiende Amolo amekuja amuua kila kitu mpaka schools. He was blaming him of the schools hapo pia atalacha schools ilikuwa na watu kama around 150, sasa iko sijui watu 50 sijui 40 sijui 30. So there's a lot of allegations ambazo sijui kama za ukweli.
I don't know. I'm not from Rarieda, and I would wish if I had someone from Rarieda to tell us what Gumbo is saying. Gumbo is raising some funny, he's casting aspersions, and he's really raising accusations to one Otiende Amolo. Of course, this has come just because of the video you have shared. I'll be telling you why Mr. G is asking this by playing the video itself. Here is the video. Listen in to what Gumbo said.
Childish, I defeated him hands down in 2007, and he's still bitter about it. We are almost 20 years ago, and he's one person who cannot defeat me. He shouldn't, otherwise he wouldn't be MP. No, he wouldn't. But he has this stupid approach to things where anything that was started, he either criticizes, and it is mainly on education, and it is very, very annoying. I started almost 17 schools in this constituency. Nearly all of them are in tatters, including the one near my home. He has never given each one of them a single shilling in bursary. That money is not Otiende's money. That money belongs to the people of Rarieda. And to be an MP, you cannot politicize education. No. That is why even right now, I'm not holding any public office. Because the caste position was declared unconstitutional by the courts. We are still in court. But I am continuing and sacrificing and continue without discrimination. Because you cannot discriminate on matters education. But he's doing it. The schools are dying, he's doing nothing. Always staying in bars with some bleached women. Terrible thing. Of course, as an MP, there's nothing the Minister of Education. It's just stupid and backward and very primitive. Extremely primitive. You cannot go around claiming that you have some fake PhD and you don't even care about matters education. No, it's wrong. I have kept quiet, but he keeps provoking me by attacking the projects that I started. I can fight, and I will fight to get my respect. And he knows he cannot face me politically. That's why he keeps hiding behind all sorts of people. Step into the ring like a man and face me. if he has a problem with me. But you cannot be killing the future of our children because you don't like the person who started the schools. None of my relatives goes to these schools. I started over 17 schools. How many has he started? Probably one that is hardly moving. You cannot do that. He's even sacrificing his own clan because of this silly kind of politics. That kind of primitivity is not acceptable. It's not. I exist in this constituency. I exist in this county. I exist in this country by right. Whether he likes it or not, I am here. And if he keeps provoking me, I will leave everything else to make sure we kick him out of Rarieda. That I can tell you, and I'm saying it here in Madian division. This kind of silly things, the schools, most of these schools I started, some of them are having as few as 70 students. Schools that I left with over 600 students. Nothing is happening. Nothing. You cannot rule people just by being an expert in two things, being drunk and being irresponsible. No.
Engineer,
yes,
you've given part a good amount of money, both for the launch of the circle and even for the bursaries.
Yes.
Now, what message can you pass to the beneficiaries who have gotten this money in relation to making proper use of the money?
You know, I think I already said it anyway. Maybe I didn't say it in English, but I said it. One of the biggest problems, I've run this bursary, by the way. This is the 27th year, because I started in 1996. It has nothing to do with politics. I never, ever ask who is benefiting. I get the names of my people on the ground and I give out the money. That's what it is. As simple as that. Okamor, Kaka, Bwana Manokao, MP Maradia, the Milongo Tienda Molo.
So that is that. But anyway, achana na Mr. Gumbo, he was trying to really talk ill of Otiende Amolo. We'll be looking at that maybe later on. But maybe you can give me your closing remarks, Mr. G, even as response to that clip.
Yeah, I think we had a nice time, and my closing remarks, I'll just argue our fellow followers to be joining in our discussion, because the only place where you can get the real thing that is happening on the ground ni hapa Africa 24 TV. The only one to get siasa mzuri, come Africa 24. This is a place where we don't discriminate people na hatuangalii hii ni siasa kidogo ambayo tunapiga tu tukigongana, but si ile ya kukasisha watu. So we welcome you guys to come join the show, subscribe, and let us enjoy what we are doing as we fight for our country. My last remarks in kuwa, I am still supporting Baba, I'm supporting Azimio, and I'm still crying for that team to still stand strong kuzuia hii ukora ambayo inaendelea. How many billions have we lost just in less than 1 year? In fact, imagine naambiwa kuwa the last almost less than 6 months, ama less than 4 months, the government imetumia more than 2 trillion shillings just state house peke yake. Sasa if we continue to keep quiet, then hii country in the next 4 years itakuwa imeisha. How many billions of money tumepoteza? Look at that scandal of mafuta ya mboga, wanatuletea mafuta ambayo ime-expire kitambo ndo watu wanakula. The issue of 17 billion, so a lot of billions we have lost just within 1 year. Sasa tukisema the next 4 years, how will it be? We need to come and speak out, because wakati tunaongea ndo wanatusikiza na watatenda ile kitu ambayo tunataka. Thank you, Mr. Yex.
Thank you very, 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 very much. Excuse me, Neka very mingi. Thank you very much, Mr. G, for your time. I know you're under the weather, but I wish you good health as well. Asante sana wewe ambaye umetutazama, wewe ambaye umekeep tabs on this show, and as well the previous panelists that we had. This has been nice. This has been interesting. This has been an awesome conversation. We do this again, like 4 or 5 hours from now. So tune in saa 4 kamili inapotimia, kutakuwa na show ingine kali fiti, of course discussing maswala ibuka. Thank you very, very much. Hey, naneka very mingi sana we. But asante sana. See you in the evening. This has been your host, Jake, the moderator, and of course, this has been Africa 24. Consider subscribing. Consider being part of this great family. Asante sana. God bless you. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope mnaji nice. To the football guys, I wish you the best. I wish Team Arsenal ushindi. I think it's tomorrow today. But I don't know. I don't know. We are doing well at times we are doing bad. But zaidi ya yote, thank you very much. See you in the evening at 10 p.m. Keep it Afric 24. Asante sana.